Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes so sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. Not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade, sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. Is a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Stack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Meshegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Prosecuted, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes sweet and sassy. Not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
It's Sunday Fun Day. It is Sunday Fun Day. Today is Sunday, January 4th, 2026. I think we're going to say 2025 forever. And look, like all of us out there, I like to avoid pain. And then there is nothing more painful than being a Jets fan, growing up a Jets fan. So I just want to tell you that I have now turned the corner. Check me out with my vintage Patriots jersey, by the way. Vintage, number 28. Who can guess whose name is on the back of this vintage number 28 jersey for the Patriots? It is the score right now is 38-10. Patriots are beating the Dolphins in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes and 18 seconds to go. Who knows whose name is on the back of my jersey? Nope, number 28. It's number 28. This is vintage. This is going to tell you for how long my children have been Pats fans. And I will say that in Super Bowl 39, this player had a really, really, really good game. Let me see if I can see who gets it first. Let us see. Patriots and lobster. Patriots and lobster. Are you having lobster right now? I didn't get enough lobster. I love lobster. I actually did get a lobster tail the other day because I realized I just did not. Nope, not Bledsoe, not Brady, not Vinatieri. No, come on. What are you talking about over here? Do we have any real fans here? Do you have any real fans? Super Bowl 39? I think it was Super Bowl 39. No, not Troy Brown. No, not Falk. Guys, I mean, Google is your friend. Stevens, no, none of you. Nope, it doesn't say little. Makazi G is here. Oh, you in trouble, Makazi G. You should just walk away. You should just walk away. Walk away right now. There's no reason why you should still be on this case. Because it is Dylan. Thank you. Thank you. It is the Corey Dillon jersey. That is how long this jersey has been in my closet. But to be honest with you, I think I probably stole it from one of my kids. But there it is, number 28. And Colleen. It took like 400 guesses for Colleen to come in with Dylan. How's everybody doing? I didn't realize that the Critics' Choice Awards are also on tonight. So we might have to do some like breaking there. And Fetter's got it. Corey Dillon. Thanks, Paulie G. That is correct. That is correct. Did you guys Google it or did you really know for sure? That's how old this jersey is. Like he played for the Pats for between 2004 and 2006 because I did have to look it up myself to see. And that is the real deal. And in Super Bowl 39, which was played on February 6th of 2005, Corey Dillon ran. Hold on. I'm going to tell you because I looked it up. Because now it's not here. Hold on. Patriots. Corey Dillon. Because, the game is still on, so we're going to give some people a chance to come in. And that's what we do. That's what we do here. Played for the Patriots and the Bengals for 10 seasons. Known for his aggressive style. He set records. Played in the Super Bowl in 2005. And I'm going to go so far as to say that he helped the Patriots win that Super Bowl. Correct? Jeff knows. Jeff knows. It's Melanie After Dark, so watch out. Behind Blue Eyes. I'm going to try and keep it classy, but you never know what could slip out on a Sunday night. You just never know. How's everybody doing? Some people Colleen got it. Actually, maybe some of these were before that. Good evening. Good evening, Kimberly Gutierrez. Nope, it's not Deion Branch. It's Corey James Dillon. Corey James Dillon. That's how old this jersey is. Actually, it says Dillon on the back. So that's how I know. Like Jenny says, you're a real one, and that's all. Well, girl, it ain't easy. It ain't easy being me, and it ain't easy trying to stay above the fray, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. You're the greatest. Yes, Katie says, so excited for this stream. Let's go Bederow, free Turtleboy. Also love you so much, but go Seahawks. That's all right. I'm converted. I'm a Pats fan, and that's it. There's nothing else I have to say about that. That's just the way it's going to be. Everyone's going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry, Scott. I'm sorry, but the Jets are dead to me. They're dead to me. Nothing more painful than being a Jets fan. All right, let's see if I can get the chat up on my phone, and hopefully it's not going to distract. Oh, and then I could hear myself. Okay. All right. Here we go. We need our badass affirmation of the day to stay above the fray. Thank you, Katie, for your 5. I appreciate you so much. Why can't we hype it? I don't know. Some people said that hyping is only available for smaller channels. And so I don't know. But if you can hype it, hype it. If you can hype it, if you're on the replay and you can hype it, hype it. I don't even really know what hyping means, except for that I know that Jimmy, Auntie Seb, got his, like, whatever, he made a song and he got it hyped to like #1. The Jets are dead to all of us. Yeah, right. Exactly. So they're not going to miss us. They're not going to miss us. And let's go Pats. Thanks, Matt. I know. There's nothing more painful than being a Jets fan. All right, here we go. Let's get our affirmation for a badass for today, Sunday, whatever the hell day it is, January 4th, 2026. And I just saw Ali Larder on the red carpet for the Critics' Choice Awards, and I think I have a girl crush. All right, here we go. We're gonna shuffle them up. Yeah, maybe it's not on your phone. You can't hype while live. Okay, thanks, Emma. Appreciate you. Thank you, Emma. Here's today's affirmation for a badass. Are you ready? Wow. It's like sometimes they are so prophetic, these affirmations for a badass. Ready? Are you ready for it? Because you might not be ready for it. Just sit down, everyone. Here it is. And you saw me shuffle. I did not cheat. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. You want to hear that again? I think you do. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. There it is. There it is. Your badass affirmation of the day. Oh, man. My fingernails. I need to fill in. Okay. How about that? Boom. 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 Pats fans are welcoming me with open arms. I thank you. I need a sandwich. You can sandwich me right in there. Thank you, John Jackson. Yeah, Paul, we know Paul O'Keefe had an OUI. That's kind of old news. And I saw that you sent me is it new or is it old? Because we do know, I think that Karen Reed actually paid Paul O'Keefe's bail for that OUI. And it's just so funny. It's like the hypocrisy in this whole entire Michigas of a case is wild. It's wild. And thank you so much for your email. I can't respond to them all, but I can. I do read them all. Yeah, this is from 2020, October 11th of 2020. And it's like, it's wild, you know? Shields and swords. Shields and swords. Once again, if you missed the badass affirmation of the day, it's so good. I have to read it again. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. I mean, that's what the cards say. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me to Pats Nation. The reason that my kids are Patriots fans, my 2 oldest kids, is because their dad, whom I met in Boulder, when I was a little college student about 150 years ago, was from a little town in Massachusetts that he said was Foxborough, but it wasn't Foxborough. It was a nearby town of Foxborough because nobody knew of this little town, and it was in Norfolk County. And since I went to college, that boy that I met, that I married and had 2 kids with, told me how corrupt the police were in his town when he was a kid, and how the police would just pull them over for no reason and beat them up for no reason. That's right. That's right. This is a Corey Dillon jersey. It is vintage 2004 to 2006. She did pay his bail. That is correct. And I won't say the town because, you know, I don't need to, but it was Norfolk County. It was in the 80s. And he was growing up, early 90s, I want to say. When he was growing up there, he said the police were so corrupt. And we had 2 children together. And we got divorced, but we still remained co-parents. And the only reason I told this story for the first time in February of 2024. The reason that I told this story in February of 2024 is because I was being attacked by trolls on the cesspool of Twitter. And I didn't even have a Twitter account. I had an old account from like, I was posting pictures of myself with like New York Rangers players because I used to go to the charity events. And I told the story because I was being attacked by Jennifer Coffendoffer and all the same people that you see out there now, who are out there, you know, rallying to raise money for the House defendants and stuff. And told the story in February 2024 when I was being accused of like being paid by the defense team and doing this for clicks and likes and jumping on the bandwagon because it was a popular thing to do. Because let me tell you, if you remember back in January, February 2024, it was not a popular thing to do at all. It just wasn't. It was filled with vitriol and hatred. And the reason that I told the story in 2024 of February is because that was the day that my ex-husband died of a heart attack and left my 2 oldest children without a father. And so I told that story because I was so sick and effing tired of being attacked on Twitter, because I have been hearing since the 80s and early 90s how corrupt the police in Norfolk County were, from someone who lived it and grew up in it, and my connections to that county, and they can all just F off. Okay, so that is why I became interested in the Karen Read saga. That is what, because I had been hearing about the corruption in Norfolk County since that time, all those decades ago when I was in college, to the present. And I was like, oh, what? This happened in Canton, Norfolk County? Wait a second. Let me look into this because I've been hearing they're corrupt. And as soon as I started looking into it, like actual court documents and actual police reports and actual investigative reports, it became quite clear that the corruption had not yet gone away. And it had become quite clear that it had been going on for decades. And those of you who live there know it. You know it. If you live in Norfolk County or ever lived in Norfolk County, just put a 1 in the chat. I mean, I know Emily C. is very open. She lives in Norfolk County still to this day. And those of you who are locals, you know, this is how it's been. Put a 1 in the chat if you do live in Norfolk County now or ever have lived in Norfolk County. And there are a lot of you, and you know. And when we read this motion together in Commonwealth versus Aidan Kearney's case, you are going to see that the corruption is so blatant that they don't even give a rat's ass anymore about just being open about it and blatant about it and just in your face about it, in your face. And whoever decides to maybe run for Norfolk County DA, assuming that Michael Marcy is not going to try and get reelected, I think the election is the election coming up in November, or is it the year after? I hope that whoever it is that decides to run against Michael Marcy really talks about it and really puts it in your face. And this, what we're going to read today, I didn't even finish reading it because I started reading it and it just outraged me so much that I was like, you know what? I'm going to save it for the show. I like to do real-time reactions. I don't like to watch anybody else's coverage. I like to just read it to you and react in real time because that's what we do. My face has subtitles. I can't hide the way I feel. And that's just the way it is. A lot of people hate my facial expressions. I don't really care. You know why? Because winners are focused on winning and losers focus on winners. So, hey, Mazza, love you. Maz is a good guy. Maz is one of the good guys. Okay. I don't know what's going on out there in the tubes of you with the Karen Reed movement, and it's like a new season of Survivor, like whose alliances are with who and whose torch is being put out, and it's ridiculous and it's stupid, and I don't care to get involved in it, and I'm not going to address it other than to say that I think it's ridiculous. It is like Survivor Canton edition. Why? Why can't you think that Aidan Kearney is being wrongfully persecuted and Karen Reed was wrongfully persecuted, and that Karen Reed should get a check big enough, so big, they can't write a check big enough for Karen Reed, okay? And the stuff that we're going to read about in this motion today for Aidan Kearney will show you how helpful this motion is to Karen Reed's civil case, because Yuri Buchanan doesn't give a shit about showing his bias to the world. You are a worldwide audience. You're a worldwide audience and you're watching. If you feel like I'm yelling at you, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling in general because I'm outraged, and you should be too. And they don't care anymore. It is so blatantly in your face now. It's like they've gotten away with it for decades. They think they're going to continue to get away with it, but they're not. You know why? Because people like me are not going to shut up about it. And people like you are not going to shut up about it. And I don't know how the House defendants PR team is going to spin this into being not a big deal. When Yuri Buchanan is out there publicly asking people to donate to the fund for the House defendants that he investigated. Well, I'm sorry. No, wait, I take that back. Withdrawn. He never investigated them. He did not investigate them. But he was, if you want to believe what he testified to at the trial, he was the lead investigator into the murder of John O'Keefe. Because, formerly dishonorably discharged Trooper Michael Proctor, they had to, distance themselves from him. So you can't use it as a shield and a sword, Yuri Buchanan. You can't say, oh, well, I wasn't the lead investigator, so it doesn't really matter that I'm out there publicly trying to collect money for the House defendants and showing my bias. It doesn't really matter because I wasn't the lead investigator, because you were the lead investigator. And you know what else? You've already been publicly reprimanded, and you had to give up a whole 5 days paid vacation the last time you were investigated. And so I wonder if what we're going to read about today is going to lead to a further investigation into Yuri Buchanan and his bias, because if it doesn't, the corruption is even louder and more in your face than we even thought. And so with that, I say to Sir with love, Sir Bederow has filed a Sur-Reply, and we're here for it. And thank you to Olivia for the hyperlinks. And it's like, oh, thank you so much. This was a long time ago. It was February 2024. And it's my boys, actually. But I thank you so much for your being here for 10 months, Pokey. And you're amazing. And you guys are amazing. You are the smartest chat on YouTube. We have people from all walks of life here. We have people with empathy. We have people with outrage. We have people with integrity. We have people in all areas of law and law enforcement and forensics and medicine, and you're from everywhere, and you're very, 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 very smart. Okay. Thank you. And please do not disparage any other creators in the chat, even if you think I don't like them, because you're probably wrong. I have no animosity or hatred toward anybody. I just want to expose the corruption, and I want to be the Innocence Project of YouTube. And let me tell you something. If you haven't been following the case of Sarah Grace Patrick with me, please come tomorrow. The trial's supposed to start tomorrow. She's a 16-year-old girl who is being held in solitary confinement in Carrollton County, Georgia, for the alleged murder of her mother and stepfather. They claim to have a mountain of evidence against her, and yet we have not seen one shred of evidence. We have not seen anything. And apparently, according to her father, her mother was dealing drugs, and it may have been a drug deal gone bad. And a guy had come into the house 5 days prior and pulled a gun on the stepfather, and the little boy was there, and he was sent out to play in the backyard. So it seems to me that Sarah Grace Patrick may be factually innocent. And what I saw Julie Grant had posted on the Court TV Instagram, we're going to talk about this at the end, because Sarah Grace Patrick needs your help and our help. And you guys get it. And there has been zero evidence against her that has been brought to the public eye. Zero. She went on TikTok to ask for help about who murdered her parents. And all of a sudden, everyone has painted her as guilty. The girl doesn't have a driver's license. She doesn't know how to shoot a gun. She could not have assassinated these two people in their bed. By the way, there's pictures of the back door that show forced entry, all of it. Like this may be worse than Karen Read, because at least we know that Karen Read has been acquitted, number one. But Brian Walsh, remember all the evidence we saw before his trial, all the Google searches, all of the Google searches, everything we saw about Brian Walsh. Don't tell me to calm down. The worst thing that you can do to a person is tell them to calm down. So you're going to go to timeout. Thank you so much for playing, but see you later. 24 hours for you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Don't tell me to calm down when there's people being wrongfully persecuted and wrongfully incarcerated, and a 16-year-old girl is being held in solitary confinement because law enforcement did a shitty job. Okay? Don't tell me that. Moving on. Let's get to the papers first, and then we can talk about it. We can get outraged about Sarah Grace Patrick later. Here we go. Well, she's gone. Don't worry. She's gone. Block Island is so lovely this time of year. All right. Why is she in solitary? Because she's a kid. She's a kid, and they can't put her in Gen Pop because it would be dangerous for her. But if you can find one shred of evidence against this girl, please send it to me. But there isn't any. But there's a hell of a lot of evidence that her mother and stepfather may have been dealing drugs, and it could have been a pot deal gone bad. And there was a person with a gun threatening them a week before they were murdered. Okay, here we go. This is the Commonwealth versus Aidan Kearney, assigned to Judge Belizos. Isn't this the same judge that? Wait, he's a Norfolk County judge, right? I don't know why I thought he was assigned to something involving Karen Read. Is it the motion to the motion to search the phones? I don't know. Remind me. Straight to 5 days for Block Island. Yep. If my outrage outrages you, then you need to turn the channel. Turn the channel. Go watch something else. Go watch some people talk about themselves for 3 hours, okay? I don't do that here. I talk about other people's problems. Here you go. This is defendant Sur-Reply in support of motion to disqualify Robert Cosgrove. Let me point out to you again, Robert Cosgrove is the specially appointed special prosecutor who was hired specifically to replace Ken Mello temporarily to prosecute Aidan Kearney. Aidan Kearney is a journalist who made it his mission to expose the corruption in the murder investigation of John O'Keefe and to report on the Karen Read case to the point of I don't know how many hundreds of articles he's written about the Karen Read case. And so when they decided to prosecute him for this witness intimidation statute, which has, I don't think, ever been used historically in this way, because he apparently hurt the witnesses, some of the witnesses' feelings and their friends, witnesses' family members, it extends to family members also. He hurt their feelings, I guess. And some of them have come out recently and said they're not afraid of him. So I don't know how far this is going to go. But they needed to hire a special prosecutor because when there is a conflict of interest with the district attorney's office, they are forced to hire outside the district attorney's office. And because there was a conflict for Michael Marcy, he could not persecute Aidan Kearney. And so he hired his friend, Ken Mello, to come in and prosecute Aidan Kearney. And then Ken Mello, I don't know, maybe he had health issues, not really sure. It's all been redacted. We didn't really know, but he sort of fell off the face of the earth. We didn't have any proof of life of him. And then this Robert Cosgrove, who I think is another friend of Michael Marcy, had to step in for Ken Mello. And so there's a conflict. It's a specially appointed special prosecutor. Now, we saw another case recently, the second persecution of Karen Read, because after the first trial, when there was a hung jury, they decided, yeah, they were going to do it again to the tune of how many millions of dollars for the taxpayers of Norfolk County. They didn't care. They hired a special prosecutor, Hank Brennan, in that case, even though there was no conflict of interest for Michael Marcy in that case. Adam Lally could absolutely have tried that case again if they wanted him to. Greg Connor, who's the top dog, from what I hear, at the Norfolk County DA's office, he prosecuted Brian Walsh with integrity, I might add, and got the conviction. From what I hear, Greg Connor wouldn't touch that case with a 10-foot pole. He's like, I'm not going to touch the Karen Read case. From what I hear, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm not. But Michael Marcy went outside the DA's office and hired a special prosecutor, Hank Brennan, who had represented Whitey Bulger years before. Isn't that fitting? Paid him something like, I don't remember how much in the end, $600K. More, 600K or more. Oh yeah, smash the like button. Put your DNA on that like button. I promise you that Norfolk County troopers will not get a hold of it. And even if they did, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Spin it however you want, House defendants, PR team. Spin it however you want. This is not good for you. This is not good for you and your defense in the Karen Reed versus everybody civil case. It's just not. Happy birthday, Jenna. Happy birthday, Jenna Leah. They didn't need to hire a special prosecutor for Karen Reed's second persecution, but they did. I've never seen that before when there's no conflict. But here they had a conflict, so they had to. And now you're going to see from these papers that we're going to read that there is a conflict now for Cosgrove and the entire DA's office. So there is no other choice. I don't care. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. Ask any other lawyer practicing law in any one of the United States of America if this is a conflict for Robert Cosgrove, and I await your opinion. Okay? Moving on. Defendant, Sur-Reply in support of motion to disqualify Robert Cosgrove. Introduction. Public confidence in the integrity of the criminal justice system is essential to its ability to function. All right, let me just note down the time here, 26. And that is citing Commonwealth v. Badgett, Massachusetts case from November 3rd of 2025, citing Georgia v. McCollum, which is a U.S. Supreme Court case from 1992. I'm going to read that again. Public confidence in the integrity of the criminal justice system is essential to its ability to function. The Commonwealth's response envisions Robert Cosgrove's conflict with Lindsay Gattani in a vacuum. It ignores that separate and apart from Mr. Cosgrove's conflict, the case against Aidan Kearney is rife with other conflicts and scandals, the combined impact of which severely undermines the public's confidence in the integrity of the Norfolk County criminal justice system. A summary of these conflicts and scandals follows. I would submit to you that even just using integrity and Norfolk County criminal justice system in the same sentence is like an oxymoron. Exactly. Cosgrove is trying to make the extra money before he's booted. If anybody has, because I know I have them somewhere buried in my files, the bills, Cosgrove's bills to date, itemized bills, I would love to see them in my inbox. Fanbase at mlittlelaw.com. Fanbase at mlittlelaw.com. Because we know from when we went over the invoices a while ago in the Karen Reed case, there were some in that file. I think they came out pursuant to a public records request. And I think at one point Cosgrove even said, I billed so many more hours, but I capped it at such and such. So I only billed such and such. It's a billing expedition is what it is. And what Bederow is arguing here is that the totality of the circumstances, there are so many pieces to this little jigsaw puzzle of justice in Norfolk County that the totality of all of this evidence and all of these conflicts makes it impossible for Cosgrove to continue in any of the cases against Aidan Kearney for all of the millions of reasons that I've screamed into this microphone since I started covering this case, and will continue to scream into this microphone until Aidan Kearney is also acquitted or the charges are dropped, because they did drop some of the charges when they decided that Lindsay Gattani was not going to be a friendly witness, or for whatever reason they did drop those charges because Cosgrove couldn't proceed with that case. But let's keep reading. In September of 2023, Norfolk District Attorney Michael Morrissey recused his office from prosecuting Mr. Kearney due to the conflict created by investigating a journalist who publicly accused the DA's office, the Massachusetts State Police, and various civilians of framing Karen Reed for murder. There it is. That's when it first started, September 2023. After the Attorney General rejected his entreaty to prosecute Mr. Kearney, DA Marcy engaged Kenneth Mello and Robert Novak as special prosecutors. That's right, he did. He kept furiously emailing the Attorney General asking him to prosecute Aidan, and he said, "Yeah." They said, "No, no, thanks, but no thanks." The MSP Norfolk State Police Detective Unit, the SPDU, did not recuse itself, even though it labored under the same conflict as the DA, given Mr. Kearney's accusations that Detective Lieutenant, or DL Tully, former trooper Michael Proctor, and Sergeant Yuri Buchanan were corrupt in the Reed case. Hyperlinking back to the Bederow's affidavit from September 17th, 2025. There's a whole playlist on the Aidan Kearney case. I don't even know how many videos we have to date on this, but you can go back to that Bederow affidavit from September 17th of 2025. I'm sure the show that I did on that was right around the same time. And Bederow affidavit of October 27th of 2025. And this is wild. It is wild. Okay? And just break this down for you in the most basic way possible. September 2023. That's a long time ago. It's over 2 years ago. We are now in 2026. Morrissey recused himself because of a conflict. And because Tully, Buchanan, and Proctor were also conflicted, they too should have been taken off of anything having to do with Aidan Kearney. But what had happened was they just weren't. They just weren't, because the rules don't apply to them. They never have, and maybe they think that they never will. And therefore, it is up to us to expose what is going on there so that the people in Norfolk County can sleep at night. Is that too hyperbolic? I don't know. I don't think so. Moving on. The full breadth of the Norfolk SPDU's investigative bias against Mr. Kearney has been bolstered by the Commonwealth's latest disclosure and recent social media post made by Sergeant Buchanan. On January 28th, 2025, in response to Mr. Proctor again smearing Mr. Kearney as and blank, it's in quotes, and it must begin with a vowel because it says and what. And I'm just going to say maybe it says a-hole. I'm not quite sure because it's redacted. Sergeant Buchanan assured him that Mr. Kearney, who he disparaged as something else that's redacted in quotes, would blank. Sergeant Buchanan giddily told Mr. Proctor that the blank awaiting Mr. Kearney and other unnamed people would be blank. I don't know what's behind the blanks, but I would love to know. And then that hyperlinks to Exhibit A, which is completely redacted, because this stuff is so horrific that they don't want me talking about it. They don't want me talking about it. Where are the local reporters in Massachusetts? Has anyone reported on this yet? Please tell me. Please tell me if anyone has reported on this. Has Ted Daniel reported on this? WCVB, Boston 10, Boston 5, whatever all your Boston stations are. Is anybody talking about this? Because if you're a journalist, you should be talking about this, because you should be afraid. You should be afraid. Mr. Proctor hoped his colleague was correct. Nope. Glamasu says, nope, nobody's reported. Not a single one. Says, what, if anything? No, not even Howie. Not even Howie. If I know Howie, I know he will. He might be, I don't know, maybe he's on vacation. It is a holiday week, but Makazi G even says nowhere, Melanie. And it's troubling. Why? I don't know. Sergeant Buchanan shattered any facade of impartiality in his investigations of Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed by professing enthusiastic support for Jennifer and Matthew McCabe and the Alberts, and by revealing his overt bias against and disdain for Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed. And that takes us to Exhibit B. And boy, is that kind of just an in-your-face kind of thing. Let's go to Exhibit B, shall we? Because I know that 80% of my audience does not wade in the cesspool of Twitter. And so 80% of you might not have even seen this, and you might be completely blindsided by it. So buckle up, buttercups. Here's Exhibit B. And this is Yuri Buchanan posting on a social media platform. And it says, as I post infrequently, when I do, it's usually noteworthy. Wow. Oh, nothing like self-importance. Huh? Yuri? Let me read that again. As I post infrequently, when I do, it's usually noteworthy. The struggle, the conflict is straightforward. It is a contest between decency, justice, and order versus evil, chaos, and lunacy. They need your support. Every donation, regardless of amount. Wow. Wow. And then it links to the House Defendants Fund, Testify, defendingthetruth.org. And yes, Yuri Buchanan linked that Give, Send, Go on November 24th at 4:40 p.m. of 2025 and publicly posted that. I'm sorry, what? The lead investigator into the murder of Boston police officer John O'Keefe is now out here asking for donations for the House defendants? Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Matt McCabe, Jennifer McCabe, and Brian Higgins. Testify is like a parody of a TV preacher. I agree. There's a billboard. There's a billboard on the way to, and it's not called Foxborough Stadium anymore, right? It's Gillette Stadium. And as you pass by the billboard, all it says is this, testify, right? And I think it's got like a QR code, as if when you're driving by, you're supposed to be able to scan it on your phone and donate to this defense fund. It looks like, to me, it looks like some sort of a preacher. Like it looks like a church billboard. And what's so funny about it is that none of these people want to testify. What is so funny about it is that Aidan Kearney, the one who's being persecuted in this particular case, but you can just replace him with anybody, any other journalist. He just wanted them to, he just told them to tell the truth. Tell the truth. He wanted them to testify and tell the truth. And then when they did testify, we found out that Kerry Roberts lied to the grand jury. She lied to the grand jury. And Jennifer McCabe lied to the FBI. You can't make it up. It's all true. That's not even an opinion. That is fact. And then Jennifer McCabe, from what her PR team says, or her YouTube channel says, well, of course she lied to the FBI. She didn't know. She was being totally harassed. She didn't know who this person was that said he was from the FBI when she went inside to brush her teeth for 10 minutes and called 5 people and said she only called 2 or 3. But I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, I will say so. But I think that the day that the FBI knocked on Jennifer McCabe's door or saw her in the street or whatever happened when she said she was Nicole, I think that was before the first Aidan Kearney article was ever published. Is that accurate? Aidan Kearney's first article on the Karen Read case was published somewhere around April 18th of 2023. And I think the FBI came to visit her before that article was ever published. So, I mean, I'm just saying, a couple days before, yeah. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. April 10th. I don't know. Don't guess. But I think the FBI came to visit Jennifer McCabe. The ice cream truck came by her house before Aidan Kearney published his first article. So that it just rings hollow. Just rings hollow. I have a Patriots jersey on. What are you talking about? You can't send me anything. I don't want any gifts, but I do appreciate it. That was Yuri Buchanan's, I guess that's from Twitter, November 24th of 2025. Moving on, because this Exhibit B keeps going. And then this, I guess, maybe was this on Facebook? Yuri Buchanan posted, whenever this was screenshot 9 minutes before this, said, as I post infrequently, when I do, it is usually noteworthy. The struggle, the conflict is straightforward. It is a contest between decency, justice, and order. Okay, so let's just break this down. Decency, justice, and order equals Brian, Albert, Nicole, Albert, Jennifer, McCabe, Matt McCabe, and Brian Higgins. That's the decency, justice, and order side versus evil, chaos, and lunacy. Okay, evil, chaos, and lunacy. Karen Reed and Aidan Kearney. This is the lead investigator who investigated Karen Reed and also was involved in the investigation of Aidan Kearney. Are you effing kidding me? Can you say bias? Can you spell bias? Thank you, Yuri Buchanan, for publicly posting this to prove Karen Reed's point that you never were going to look into Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe, and Brian Higgins because they are decent. They deserve justice and order. And Karen Reed is evil, chaotic, and a lunatic, or a whack job C word, depending on who you listen to. Wow. Just wow. Tell us how you really feel, Yuri, Sergeant. And then it says they need your support. Every donation, regardless of size, is beneficial as this will be a lengthy process. Wow. You know what's wild about this? Because when Karen Reed sued everybody, he's part of everybody. He is a co-defendant. He is a co-defendant with Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Jen McCabe, Matt McCabe, and Brian Higgins. He is a co-defendant, and he is publicly soliciting donations for their defense fund. If any attorney out there in the United States of America can say that this is okay, don't believe another word they say. Don't believe another word they say. He did. I guess he does spell it with a Y at the end when he's, in court. But for his socials, he did not put a Y at the end of his name. And it has been confirmed that these are actually his socials. How can he get away with this? I don't know. Is the Colonel Jeffrey Noble of the Massachusetts State Police going to do anything about it? It'll be interesting to see because this is now public. I am making it public. You are making it public. Share it out there. Let him know. Buchanan has already been investigated. He's already gotten, 5 vacation days taken away. And here's another one on his Twitter, Yuri Buchanan. It's now locked down, apparently. And he says, I'm just going to leave this here. Take a look and decide for yourself. And there it is. Once again, testified of defendingthetruth.org, the Give, Send, Go, created by the scrivener of the timeline, Denise Galvin, sister of Jennifer McCabe. If there is anything that you think, how could you even defend this? You want to defend the truth? Defend this, mofos. Defend this. A Massachusetts State Police trooper who is supposed to be unbiased. Someone whose integrity is of the utmost importance and whose confidence, the public should have confidence in their unbiased investigative abilities, is out there raising money for the people that he never investigated who are now being sued as co-defendants with him. It is wild. I have never seen anything like it. In what world is this real? It's real. We are in the upside down, inside out Narnia of Norfolk County, Massachusetts, where there's no ramifications for the behavior of Massachusetts State Police. Because if the Post Commission, was it the Post Commission who put out the statement after Michael Proctor withdrew his bid to get his job back because whatever it was that they found in the 13-year total extraction of his phone was so horrific and so embarrassing that his union lawyer dropped him like a bad habit on a Saturday, and he withdrew his appeal to try and get his job back. Whatever's in that phone was that horrific. But this, are they going to look at this? Are they? He's the lead investigator now. And he's showing everyone his bias. When they said, when they dropped Michael Proctor, like a bad habit, and they said, we hope that this will close the most embarrassing chapter of Massachusetts State Police history. I submit to you, the chapter's not over. I submit to you that Howie Carr is probably writing another book. If you haven't read this book, please do. This is called Mass Corruption by Howie Carr, and it's a great read. Hold on. Because Yuri Buchanan gives so little Fs that as of Thanksgiving, he's posting this publicly. And again, November 25th. This looks like it's on Facebook. Again, just posting the link. Testify to preventingthetruth.org. 5 people liked it and hugged it. 5 people hugged it because maybe somebody found it and posted it. And he thought, oops, I might get in trouble for this. Maybe this time they'll do more than take away 5 days of PTO when he's probably has how many hundreds banked. Here you go, November 25th, Yuri posts, truth is bold and doesn't hide. Truth, all caps, will always prevail with an American flag and a I don't know, biceps. Yuri said, hold my drink, I'm jumping in. Yeah, hold my White Claw. Hold my White Claw, it's raining men. Thank you, inverted sneaker. Truth is bold and doesn't hide. Truth will always prevail. This is November 25th. Testify, defendingthetruth.org. Give, send, go link. Denise Galvin, Scrivener. What about the truth of the inverted video, Yuri? What about that? Because I seem to remember during trial number 1, when Lally showed you the inverted video, and he asked you the following question. Sergeant, is this video a true and accurate representation of the way the Sallyport looked on January 29th of 2022? And you answered yes. That wasn't the truth, Yuri, was it? No, it wasn't the truth because the video was inverted. And what looked like the passenger side of the car was really the driver's side of the car. And what looked like the driver's side of the car was really the passenger side of the car. And then what had happened was there was like a break for the day. And then you got like, I don't know, a whole weekend off. And then under cross-examination, it wasn't until cross-examination that you straightened out your testimony. Did anybody talk to you while you were still under oath? I'd love to know. And when asked, did you lie when you said this was a fair and accurate representation of the Sallyport on January 29, 22? You said that, right? And he's like, well, yeah, I mean, it was like, it's like looking in a mirror, like everything is still there, but it's like backwards and whatnot. Wasn't the truth, was it? But the truth will always prevail. And you know what? I think truer words that have never been spoken. And in this case, the truth will prevail. And the people or person who murdered John O'Keefe will actually finally be prosecuted because you, sir, have shown your bias. Not only on November 25th of 2025, but for the entire investigation into Karen Reed, the entire investigation into Aidan Kearney, the entire investigation into Richard Schiffer, the entire investigation into all of the people, these women whose houses you knocked on their doors because they wrote things on Facebook about people like, I don't even know who, Jennifer McCabe or Courtney Proctor or somebody, Lizzie Proctor, I don't know. You were knocking on doors, intimidating women when you had a clear conflict because Karen Reed and Aidan Kearney, evil. Anybody who wants to expose the corruption of the Massachusetts State Police or the Norfolk County District Attorney, evil. The truth will always prevail, and this might be the most truthful thing that you have ever said, sir. Semper Fi my ass. See a Marine? Is that a picture of him as a Marine? The Marines should be embarrassed. November 26th, he posted again because he wasn't done yet. Give thanks this week and always for everything you have and everything that's yet to come. We all go through difficult times, but with perseverance, love, and support, you too will come out the other side that much stronger for having faced lies and adversity head on and not backed down. And then he links the Give, Send, Go defending the truth because you can't make it up. You can't make it up. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Sheila, for coming in with the facts. Turtleboy's first article was April 18th, 2023. Jennifer McCabe was visited by the FBI on April 10th of 2023. I'm sorry, sweetie, but you can't blame it on Aidan Kearney. Not everything is Turtleboy's fault. You can't say you lied to the police because Turtleboy. Lied to the FBI, I mean, because Turtleboy. Lied to the FBI because Turtleboy. Thank you. Thank you, CW. Thank you. Because you guys are coming in with all the things that are in already I'm thinking about. CW says, testify the irony. Nicole Albert told Matt Gutman in an interview, think long and hard about being a witness. Right. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be a witness. They'll terrorize you. They'll harass you. They'll come after you. Wow. Co-defendant in the Karen Reed versus everybody. And then November 27th, he says on his private Facebook, I guess, from the bottom of my heart, I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. All of you who supported my family, coworkers, and I over the last few years, genuine sincerity, but also all of you who showed your true colors and low level of intelligence, believing stupid conspiracy theories for your own entertainment while helping ruin innocent people's lives. And did it so proudly too. Thank you. All in caps. And then it says sarcasm in parens and wow. Wow. And then he again links testify defendingthetruth.org. Wow. Okay. The stupid conspiracy theories of which you speak, Sergeant, were never effing investigated by you, lead investigator. Even though Paul O'Keefe, the brother of the decedent, said, looked like his brother went 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. You never even went to the scene of 34 Fairview on January 29th to 22. You and your Keystone Cop buddy dishonorably discharged former Trooper Proctor Michael, dishonorably discharged former Trooper Michael Proctor. You never even went to 34 Fairview on January 29th of 2022. You never went. It wasn't even important. How would you know? How would you know? I don't know why he still has a job, Rhonda. And Stop Resisting says Yuri needs to be fired immediately. Colonel Noble can't be okay with those posts. Neither is the public who funds it all. Low level of intelligence, believing stupid conspiracy theories. Oh, you mean the one that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car and a car did not hit John O'Keefe because physics and medicine and science? That one? Stupid conspiracy theory? Well, guess what? The jury didn't buy it either, sir. Thank you for proving Karen Reed's point. You're biased. Michael Proctor's biased too. She's going to win. So thanks for posting this because you helped her in her case. She's an innocent person whose life was ruined. Want to talk about that? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about how she lost her jobs, had to liquidate her 401ks, sell her house, her reputation. I mean, you can't write a check big enough for the sham of an investigation that you did, sir. You can't write a check big enough. It's wild. And then get out there and try and raise money for your co-defendants. Then November 28th, he says, again, on his private Facebook, I'm typically not into this stuff, but this is the best deal in Black Friday history. I'm posting the link below. Whatever you donate, the website will give you credit for the same exact amount. What? This is just spectacular. Happy donating, everyone. With the link to, what do you mean? Whatever you donate, the website will give you credit for the same exact amount. So donate and then you get a credit. So it looks like there's more money in the fund than there actually is. What even the hell does that mean? Can anybody explain that to me? Because maybe I'm stupid, as he pointed out here. Low level of intelligence people. What does that mean? Black Friday. You're typically not into this stuff. He doesn't like a good deal. Whatever you donate, the website will give you credit for the same exact amount. This is just spectacular. Happy donating, everyone. So are you saying that that amount that is in the fund, which I think is over 100 grand, it's close to, maybe it's close to 120? Yeah, since when does, well, I don't think it means that they're going to match your donation. I think it says you're going to get a credit. So you're going to, if you donate $100, they're going to give you back $100. This is Westworld. Yes, Mo. This is Westworld. Mo Esquire. Okay, there's another lawyer in the chat. Thank you, Mo Esquire. In what world are we? What world is this? It's fake. I don't think they're matching. I think they're going to give you credit. Like you donate 500, they're going to credit you the 500. I don't know. Is it money laundering? I don't know. What is it? A fake website? What is it? Tax credit? I think it just says credit. I don't know. I have no idea what it means. I can't wait until he's asked about it under oath when he has to do a deposition or 10. And there it is testifying. And then November 29th, there's more because he could not stop. He couldn't stop. Diarrhea of the mouth. He couldn't stop himself from posting this. Your November 29th, every donation, not matter the amount, makes a huge difference. Your generosity matters, and the ones in need greatly appreciate your support. I personally thank you on your behalf. Was he getting kickbacks? Is he getting kickbacks? Because he's a co-defendant. So if people clicked on his link, was there some way they could track it and he could actually get credit? Like they're going to donate to his defense fund too? But I think he's probably being represented by the union, right? So I don't even know. His attorney is probably freaking out right now. Whoever's representing him in the case of Karen Reed versus everyone is freaking out. Maybe. Or maybe they have some way to explain this December 2nd because he got to keep going. Not only Black Friday, but Giving Tuesday. What better way to make a difference in this world than to support the fight for justice and fairness in these uncertain times? Justice and fairness. Isn't that what we expect from our law enforcement? That they should be investigating murders fairly and justly without bias? I'm gobsmacked. Yeah, you get full credit as snowblower and fancy water. That's right. It's like the CDL scandal. Well done. Well done. It flew by, so I'm not even sure. That was Ann Smith. Yes, Ann Smith. The CDL scandal, remember? For driveways and plunge pools and snowblowers and Tortoise says, remind me, how did this finally get out? Why didn't we know in November? Well, if you're not on the cesspool of Twitter, you would not know. Because I'm not either, but a lot of people sent it to me. So it was out there. It's just now in the public court documents. Thank you, Tortoise. Indifference. Sickening, says Jazzy's mom. Maybe he's given them Get out of jail free cards. Well done. East Coast Canny. Well, tell us how you really feel, Yuri. Tell us all about your bias. Thank you. These uncertain times. Nothing is more uncertain for the people of Norfolk County than their law enforcement. I don't see how he can stay on the job. I don't see how he can ever testify in any case ever again. I think you know why they didn't call him in the Brian Walsh case. How can he testify ever again? He can't. This is Brady material. This is showing bias to the world. Trubarino won't find his messages. Well done. You guys are great tonight. You're on fire. There's more. Oh, no, that's it. I'm sorry. That's the end of Exhibit B. Wow, that was quite. And if you'd never seen that Exhibit B before, if you've never seen those tweets or Facebook posts of Yuri Buchanan, put a 1 in the chat. Only if you're live. If you're on the replay, don't do it because I won't know what you were putting a 1 in the chat with. If you have never seen those posts by Yuri Buchanan, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to see how many of you didn't even know anything about that. Curious. Oh, a lot of 1s. A lot of 1s. A lot of people did not know. And there's almost 4,500 people in here right now. And there's a lot. Let's get the thumbs up in here. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. I showed you. I think I might have showed you right when it happened, right? That's true. That's true. Wow. A lot you didn't know. Meavy wants to know if I donate a large amount to the fund, what kind of favor can I buy? No, it's kind of unclear, right? It was a little bit unclear. Get a credit? Do you get a credit towards donating to someone else? And so let's just read that sentence again because we just read Exhibit B. Mr. Proctor hoped his colleague was correct. Sergeant Buchanan shattered any facade of impartiality in his investigations of Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed by professing enthusiastic support for Jennifer and Matthew McCabe and the Alberts, and by revealing his overt bias against and disdain for Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed, Exhibit B, which we just read in its entirety. Leveraging his status as a supervising detective in the cases against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed, Sergeant Buchanan actively solicited money for witnesses against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed and his co-defendants in a lawsuit filed by Ms. Reed at least 7 times from November 25th to December 2nd, 2025, even referencing Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Giving Tuesday as perfect days for happy donating, everyone. Footnote 1, which says, in addition to participating in the investigations of Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed, Sergeant Buchanan testified that he was intimidated by Mr. Kearney, lobbing questions at him as he left court one day. Oh yeah, we've watched that video a couple times. Hold please. An indictment related to this incident was dismissed. At Ms. Reed's 2025 trial, Sergeant Buchanan was detailed the MSP's investigation. Footnote 2 says, Sergeant Buchanan repeatedly directed potential donors to a website created to support the McCabes and Alberts, whose mission statement is to protect and empower witnesses and victims of crime who face retaliation, harassment, or defamation for fulfilling their civic duty. Thank you. I'm Gumby, damn it. I'm going to highlight that for later. Bederow for president, says Charles Wallinger. Maybe they get some pizza credits. Yes, Yuri is pimping for the House defendants, but they are also his co-defendants, you see, because you just can't make that up because the lawsuit here. The lawsuit filed by Karen Reed, and this is interesting. Somebody asked, when was it filed? Well, it was filed on November 17th of 2025 in Bristol County, which was before Yuri Buchanan's first post of November 25. So even after he was sued, and trust me, we've got lots of shows on Karen Reed's civil lawsuit. The defendants in that case, in case you forget, That's a Bristol County case. It's Karen Reed versus Michael Proctor, Sergeant Yuri Buchanan, Lieutenant Brian Tully, Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe, and Brian Higgins. That lawsuit is stamped filed by Bristol Superior Court on November 17th of 2025. Yep. I mean, you can't make it up. In one post, Sergeant Buchanan included a fundraising link and issued a call to arms seeking financial support for the good, the McCabe's and the Alberts, in their fight against evil, Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed. As I post infrequently when I do, it's like, I don't, who's the most interesting man? What is that campaign? What is that campaign? The most interesting man in the world. I don't drink beer, but when I do, it's whatever beer. That's what it sounds like. As I post infrequently, when I do, it's usually noteworthy. It's Dos Equis, right? Dos Equis, the most interesting man in the world. Does he fancy himself to be the most interesting man in the world? I mean, we know he can dance. Maybe America's Got Talent could do like a law enforcement edition. I mean, just, you might need a side gig if they investigate this. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's like the old PBA card. It's like the PBA card. Yeah, we're going to give you a PBA card. If you know, you know. As I post infrequently, when I do, it's usually noteworthy. The struggle, the conflict is straightforward. Oh, dude, the struggle is real. Did you use AI to write this, though, for you? Did you really just want to say the struggle is real? It is a contest between decency, justice, and order versus, it's like a superhero movie, chaos versus evil chaos and lunacy. Lunacy. They need your support. They, you mean your co-defendants? Every donation, regardless of size, is beneficial, as this will be a lengthy process. I mean, Massachusetts State Police trooper who's being sued by the very woman that he railroaded into 2 trials is out there seeking donations, soliciting donations, like he's ringing a bell in a Santa costume outside a supermarket collecting donations for the Salvation Army. That's how embarrassing this should be. Because, English is his 3rd language, and he actually asked Alan Jackson for a dictionary to define the word theory, I think. Was it the word theory? You can remind me. No, I didn't talk to you. I said theory, THEO. Stop, I'm not talking to you. AI is bad. I'm just gonna say AI is bad. It's ruining the planet. Don't use it, because everyone can tell when you do. Oh, you're right about one thing. This will be a lengthy process. And you've just ensured that your deposition is going to be about 10 days long. You might need an interpreter, because I'm not sure what his first language is, but we know that English is his 3rd language. So I'm going to suggest that they get an interpreter so that there's no question about the questions, that he understands. Yes, their civic duty. They were fulfilling their civic duty of testifying against Karen Reed so they could pin it on the girl, as Alan Jackson said, right? Make sure that we pin it on the girl. Alan Jackson said that. I know, my iPad, my iPhone heard that too. In another post, Sergeant Buchanan disparaged Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed's supporters for their low level of intelligence, for believing conspiracy theories, and for proudly helping ruin innocent people's lives. They're only innocent because you didn't investigate them. Perhaps, maybe some people might think. Allegedly, in my opinion. On November 29th of 2025, Sergeant Buchanan put to rest any notion of the Norfolk SPDU's actual bias against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed by posting a donation link and revealing himself as the spokesperson for the McCabe and Albert fundraising operation, writing, "Every donation not matter," and they made sure to put SIC in there, which means that's the way it was written. "Not matter the amount makes a huge difference. Your generosity matters, and the ones in need greatly appreciate your support. I personally thank you on their behalf," and that's italicized and bolded. Wow. Wow. Just wow. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more blatant, it's in your face. No denying it now. The bias is clear, and it wasn't just Proctor. Now it's a slam dunk against Yuri, too. But I'm bummed. Don't worry, I'm here all week. Sergeant Buchanan's crowdsourcing of funds for prosecution witnesses against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed may violate Massachusetts conflict of interest law. And here's a citation to the statute. Either way, his overt advocacy for these witnesses and his clear bias against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed makes a mockery of any appearance of impartiality in the Norfolk SPDU's investigations of Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed, and obliterates whatever confidence the public had in the integrity of those investigations. I mean, you guys are there. There's a lot of you who live in Norfolk County. And so has your confidence in the integrity of the investigations of Kearney and Reed been obliterated? I mean, is Bederow right? Or is Bederow just another conspiracy theorist? Thank you for linking the statute for us. Let's see what it says here. Standards of conduct. But don't worry, because I've got the MSP standards of conduct, or whatever they call their thing, pulled up also. So MGL 268A, section 23, B2. And this chapter 268A is entitled Conduct of Public Officials and Employees. And section 23, B2 and 3. I mean, let's put it on the screen because we're here. And Olivia did the Lord's work. So you don't have to believe me. Let's look at the statute. Statute entitled Conduct of Public Officials and Employees, 23B, 23. B, no current officer, oh wait, hold on. No current officer or employee of a state or municipal agency shall knowingly or with reason to know, and would they say 2 and 3? Hold on. It's wicked small. Wicked small. No current officer or employee of a state, county, or municipal agency shall knowingly or with reason to know solicit or receive anything of substantial value for such officer or employee which is not otherwise authorized by statute or regulation for or because of the officer or employee's official position, or to use or attempt to use such official position to secure for such officer, employee, or others are the House defendants, unwarranted privileges or exemptions which are of substantial value and which are not properly available to similarly situated individuals. And 3, act in a manner which would cause a reasonable person, you're all reasonable people. I mean, he called you stupid, but I think you're reasonable people. A reasonable person having knowledge of the relevant to conclude that any person can improperly influence or unduly enjoy his favor in the performance of his official duties, or that he is likely to act or fail to act as a result of kinship, rank, position, or undue influence of any party or person. It shall be unreasonable to so conclude if such officer or employee has disclosed in writing to his appointing authority, or if no appointing authority exists, discloses in a manner which is public in nature the facts which would otherwise lead to such a conclusion. You're all reasonable people. What do you think? That is Massachusetts general law. The same Massachusetts general law under which Aidan Kearney is being persecuted for allegedly intimidating, well, not Yuri Buchanan anymore because those charges were dismissed but Nicole Albert, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, Chris Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe, and others. And you saw the public cry for donations by the actual lead investigator. It's wild. Sergeant Buchanan's, okay, that was the statute that we just read that says Sergeant Buchanan's crowdsourcing of funds for prosecution witnesses against Mr. Kearney, Ms. Reed may violate Massachusetts conflict of interest law. We just read that. Either way, his overt advocacy for these witnesses and his clear bias against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed makes a mockery of any appearance of impartiality. All right, I'm going to start that again. Ready? Either way, his overt advocacy for these witnesses and his clear bias against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed makes a mockery of any appearance of impartiality in the Norfolk SPDU's investigations of Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed and obliterates whatever confidence the public had in the integrity of those investigations. Okay, Mr. Mello was disqualified from the 2024 indictment after he made himself a material witness. That's right. And this, I'm sure, hyperlinks to that decision. Let me just double check on my end. Yes, that was the decision of Judge Doolin, dated 9/5/25, and Kearney's motion was allowed. Mello was DQ'd. He withdrew from the instant matter while a motion to disqualify him was pending, which included, among other things, proof that he advocated on behalf of witness Chris Albert while exploiting his official capacity as Mr. Kearney's prosecutor. Yes, remember that? Right. That is the that links to the Canton 9 police report from November 5th of 2023. As you may recall, 9 citizens of Canton were standing across the street from D&E Pizza on November 5th of 2023. And the information was called in about the protesters by Ken Mello. Ken Mello called it in because I think Chris Albert called Ken Mello. And this hyperlinks to the police report. And it says, and I will read it to you, on November 5th of 2023, November 5th, 2023, Officer Zepf, this is Canton PD, was dispatched along with Sergeant Silvassi, Officer Pascarelli, and Officer Chin to the vicinity of D&E Pizza for a report of picketers gathering across the street. This information was called into Canton Police by the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office Special Prosecutor. He actually told them what statute they could arrest the picketers under. And there's also audio recording of the Ken Mello phone call, calling it in. And yes, it was Chris Albert who I think reached out to Ken Mello And it says, because you can't make it up. Because you can't make it up. I'm going to keep this police report up and we're going to keep going through the papers. And if we have time at the end, for those of you who have not seen the police report for the Canton 9, I will read it to you. But for now, you're just going to have to trust me, bro. Proof that he advocated on behalf of witness Chris Albert while exploiting his official capacity as Mr. Kearney's prosecutor. Mr. Novak sought to formally withdraw one day after defense motions to dismiss, alleging pervasive prosecutorial misconduct were filed. And yes, that too, we have been over before. But let me just, I think he made a motion or he just filed. Let me just see. Robert M. Novak, by letter dated September 18th, 2025, wrote a letter to the clerk of the Norfolk Superior Court and said, please find my motion to withdraw as counsel for the Commonwealth in the above entitled matter, Commonwealth versus Aidan Kearney, the 2024 case. And he moved to withdraw. That motion was granted because, of course, it was. Novak was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Bye. In March of 20, he's like, I didn't sign up for this. In March of 2024, DA Morrissey engaged Mr. Cosgrove to assist Mr. Mello with legal analysis and motion work on the pending cases against Mr. Kearney. In September 2025, Mr. Cosgrove voluntarily withdrew from the 2024 indictment, citing an ethical conflict with Ms. Gattani after she sued him and Detective Lieutenant Tully for intentionally violating her rights during their investigation of Mr. Kearney. That's right. We've been through that many times. So Cosgrove didn't wait to be kicked off that case. He just voluntarily withdrew. He said, I gotta go. I gotta go. That was in September. 90 days ago. Seems like a lifetime ago. In June of 2025, Ms. Reed was acquitted of all charges related to the death of John O'Keefe. A few months later, Ms. Reed sued several witnesses against Mr. Kearney, among others, for conspiring to violate her civil rights, including D.L. Tully, Sergeant Buchanan, Mr. Proctor. I'm sure that when he was writing that, he was like, Mr. Proctor. I might have called him dishonorably discharged former disgraced trooper Michael Proctor, or trooper, or not even trooper, Mr. Proctor, after all of those adjectives, titles, whatever you want to call them. Bederow was being nice. Ms. McCabe, Mr. McCabe, and Brian Albert. Some of these witnesses / defendants have threatened to sue Ms. Reed and Mr. Kearney, but have not done so. Oh, where does this go? Threatened to sue. Okay, hold on. So that hyperlink that says threatened to sue is a copy of, and this is in the Paul O'Keefe versus McCarthy's Waterfall and Karen Reed case, their opposition to Karen Reed's motion to add parties. Oh, this is interesting because I don't think we ever saw this because this was never filed with the court, because in Massachusetts, you have to have the whole package has to get filed. And because the motion was withdrawn, I don't know that I've ever seen this. So this is going to deserve its own show. But in any event, let's pull it up for a moment. Because after Karen Reed's team got this opposition to their motion, they just decided, you know what, forget it. We're just gonna file a separate lawsuit. And that's what they did. So let's go here for a moment. Oops. Okay, so this is This is the 11-12-25 opposition to Karen Reed's motion to add parties. So what happened was Karen made a motion to add parties like she said she was going to do. The the House defendants, I guess, opposed it. And based on their opposition, Karen Reed's team said, you know what, we're just going to file our own lawsuit. It's going to be the path of least resistance here. And that's what they did. And so therefore, this package never hit the docket. I don't know if the judge even ever saw this. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure. But here is non-parties Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, Nicole Albert, Brian Albert, and Brian Higgins' opposition to Karen Reed's motion to add parties. This was filed. It may have never been filed with the court, but it was served on the other side. Hold, please. It is 10 pages, at least 10 pages. Well, it's more than that. It's 14 pages long. And it was served by James Tuxbury on November 12th, 2025. By one firm, Hinckley Allen, James Tuxbury, and William Fish Jr. Fish is from the Hartford, Connecticut office. Hinckley's from the Boston office. And the fact that they had the same attorney for Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe, and Brian Higgins is wild to me. It is wild to me. I mean, that is like a clear conflict of interest for them to represent all of them, because all of them, all of these people, these House defendants, do not have united interests, because some of them may point the finger at Higgins. Higgins may point the finger at someone else. We don't know. But for one lawyer to represent all of them is something that you would never see if you're an attorney and you're in the chat. Let me know if you think it's a clear conflict for one attorney to represent all of these people. But apparently somewhere in this motion, it says that we intend that we may sue Karen Reed. I'm going to take Bederow's word for it right now, because this pleading is going to require a show of its own. And they have said, I think publicly, that they also intended to sue Karen and Aidan, right? Have they said it publicly, or have their spokespeople said it on their behalf? I'm not quite sure. But they've been threatening it for quite a long time. Moving on. Footnote 3, which reads, Ms. Reed is the defendant in a pending lawsuit filed by the estate of John O'Keefe. If the court permits Mr. Cosgrove to remain in this case, he will be prosecuting a high-profile matter of public concern alleging that Mr. Kearney intimidated witnesses while he reported on a case against a woman who was acquitted after 2 high-profile trials under the following circumstances. And that footnote number 4 comes after 2 high-profile trials. It says, footnote 4, Matthew McCabe, Brian Albert, Chris Albert, Colin Albert, Juliana Nagel, and Mr. Proctor did not testify at Ms. Reed's 2025 trial. Elizabeth Proctor did not testify at either of Ms. Reed's trials. And those are some of the alleged victims in the cases against Aidan Kearney, who claimed that they were intimidated by him. Matthew McCabe, Brian Albert, Chris Albert, Colin Albert, Juliana Nagel. I don't know if Proctor's case is still survived, but Elizabeth, and I'm not sure about Elizabeth Proctor, and also Jennifer McCabe. And there may be, and Carrie Roberts is not in there. I don't know if there's any others that I can't think of right now. I don't know if Julie Albert's in there. I'm not sure. I can't know everything about everything. I just can't. Under the following circumstances, Mr. Cosgrove has been sued for intentional misconduct by Ms. Gattani, who previously testified for the prosecution but is now a likely defense witness. Tully has been sued by Ms. Gattani for intentional misconduct and is Mr. Cosgrove's co-defendant. Tully, Detective Lieutenant Tully, for those of you who are not familiar, Tully has been sued by Ms. Gattani for intentional misconduct and is Mr. Cosgrove co-defendant. Tully has been sued by Ms. Reed for violating her civil rights. Tully has been disciplined for his misconduct in the Reed case, and Sergeant Buchanan has been sued by Ms. Reed for violating her civil rights, and Sergeant Buchanan was disciplined for his failure to supervise Mr. Proctor in the Reed case. Sergeant Buchanan's documented actual bias in favor of the McCabe's and Alberts and against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed will be exposed to the jury. See Exhibits A and B. Well, we're gonna read, and I'm glad they're hyperlinked because I tried to find copies of these without reading this in its entirety, and it was very hard to find copies of the disciplinary findings. But thank you, Olivia, for doing the Lord's work for us. We'll come back to that. Because I want to see what we're going to look at, what Tully and Buchanan have already been disciplined for, and whether there will be any further discipline based on Buchanan's most recent postings on social media. Wow. It's crazier and crazier, isn't it? Mr. Proctor has been sued by Ms. Reed for violating her civil rights. Mr. Proctor authored texts disparaging Mr. Kearney and revealing his investigative bias during the MSP investigation. Mr. Proctor's repulsive text messages about Ms. Reed contributed to his termination from the MSP. Mr. Proctor's electronic communications have jeopardized numerous other cases and made him the national poster child for police misconduct. Wow, that is so true. The national poster child for police misconduct. You know it's going to get stranger. So let's get on with the show. Let's go. Name that tune. The three key civilian witnesses against Mr. Kearney, the McCabe's and Brian Albert, have been sued by Ms. Reed for conspiracy to violate her civil rights. And Ms. Gattani's testimony will undermine the credibility of D.L. Tully and Ms. McCabe, which will subject her to cross-examination by Mr. Cosgrove and then likely result in Mr. Cosgrove in attacking the credibility of his civil accuser. Wow. Feel Like a Stranger. Thank you, C-Bean. I think you're the first one to get it, but yes, that is Grateful Dead. Feel Like a Stranger. And if you know, you know. My love of the Grateful Dead, and we even have special emojis for the Grateful Dead. There's a Grateful Dead quote for any situation. CBean 0017, I think, was the first one to get it. Moving on. This is the landscape. This is the landscaper facing the court as it considers whether the public's confidence and integrity in this matter and the Norfolk County criminal justice system will be further eroded by allowing Mr. Cosgrove to prosecute Mr. Kearney, notwithstanding Ms. Gattani's formal accusations against him. See Badgett, Massachusetts Court of Appeals. Argument. Put simply, as related to Mr. Kearney, footnote 5, Mr. Cosgrove is the Commonwealth. Footnote 5 says, Mr. Cosgrove is prosecuting Mr. Kearney in a 2025 witness intimidation indictment in which Chris Albert and Colin Albert allege they were emotionally harmed by reviewing video of Mr. Kearney clowning around as he looked into a video camera outside of Chris Albert's pizza shop. Except for that Cosgrove calls Colin Albert Colin Albert. So that's Cosgrove calling him Colin, not me. Maybe because it reminds him of Colin Powell, and that's how Colin Powell spells his name, Colin. If this video is hyperlinked, I'm going to show it to you. Oh, it is. Okay, buckle up. If you haven't seen the video, you're going to be able to see the video because I'm going to play it for you after I finish this footnote. On December 5th of 2025, Mr. Cosgrove stated his preference to withdraw from the 2025 matter if the court disqualified him from the 2023 case. He did. Remember that? We were there. We watched that hearing together. Ms. Gattani is unlikely to be a witness in the 2025 case. Thus, the defense has not sought to disqualify Mr. Cosgrove from that matter. This begs the question, why is Mr. Cosgrove interested in remaining on the 2023 case, but willing to abandon the 2025 case? Dun, dun, dun. So if you are not familiar with the indictment of the 2025 witness intimidation against Colin Albert and Chris Albert, allow me to show it to you. Here's the video as recorded by the security cam outside D&E Pizza in Canton, Mass. Is it illegal wiretapping? I don't know. There's a lot of people out there screaming about illegal wiretapping. Apparently, Massachusetts is a two-party consent state. I think. Oh, thank you, Gigi, for your $50 cash app. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and love you. Massachusetts, unlike most other states, is a two-party consent state. So you have to, in order to record someone, there has to be consent on both sides. Hang on, why is this? Let me know you can hear it. So Aidan's looking in the window. He's looking in the window of D&E Pizza. Okay. And I don't know if there was another camera outside that was recording sound, but there's also a camera inside that I think this is videos from, and I'm not quite 100% sure. But also outside is a bench in front of D&E Pizza. We know because we've looked at those pictures before. And so I think it's kind of near CF McCarthy's. And so people might come out and sit on that bench and like smoke and like tell their secrets. And maybe they were being recorded by that camera. I'm not quite sure, but people have said that they have been attacked on Facebook for things that they may have said on that bench. And how would anybody know that? And they were threatened on Facebook by people threatening to reveal these things. Crazy, right? I know it's crazy, but it's true. That's what they tell me. Here's Aidan looking in the camera. I think he had been at CF McCarthy's. Let's take a look. How much is that Turtleboy in the window? Well done. Well done. Weird Debbie M. You're not weird. Here you go. This is March 4th, 2025, 22:19 p.m. And there's Will the Glarer behind him, trying to give him a fake wet willy, pointing. Aidan's laughing. There's some girls laughing in the background. And there he's doing the T-Rex arms. Will is behind Aidan doing T-Rex arm, waving and being like, what? I can't boost this. And it's really, really hard to hear what he's saying. So, Will the Glairer kissed and put it on the window. And there were two women with them. There were two women, Meredith O'Neill and attorney Nan Gallagher. And attorney Nan Gallagher videotaped the whole entire thing. Videotaped it. Said it before, and I'll say it again. If I was with those two, I would have pulled them both by the ear away from that window and prevented this whole entire thing. I would not have stood there and videotaped it. Interesting. But that's a felony in Massachusetts, and that is one of the just two of the felony charges that Aidan Kearney is charged with. Two of them. That one is for Colin Albert. I want to say Colin Albert. Little Cupcake, I would have allowed that message because Nan is an infiltrator, says AZ Nature Chick. And I guess I didn't send you the screenshots, Little Cupcake, from the Young Jerks chat the other night and all the trash talk that Nan Gallagher had in the Young Jerks chat about me. And interestingly, the chat is gone. The chat is gone from that video the other night. I don't even know if the whole video is gone. It might be. But Nan Gallagher is threatening me publicly in the Young Jerks chat. And some of you might have seen it. The chat's been taken down. The whole video might have been taken down. But the only time I've ever mentioned her name on my channel was when I said I thought it was unethical for her to send that voicemail to Aidan Kearney. Yes. 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 I don't know if you were there, if you watched that show live. I didn't, but people sent me screenshots. We have them all. And boy, did she come after me. Jeff saw it. Jeff K saw it. Thank you. You can't find it. But since we're here and we're talking about it, and this attorney thought it would be a good idea to videotape this incident with Aidan and Will. And no, Will was never charged. Nobody should have been charged because I'm not sure exactly what it was that Aidan said in the window, but I think it was something like, why did you kill that person? And here's the thing that you might not know. Chris Albert did, in fact, kill a man in the 90s in a hit and run motor vehicle accident. Say his name. His name is Peter Berger. He was an exchange student. Chris Albert, in a hit and run motor vehicle accident, killed Peter Berger and fled the scene and turned himself in with his attorney 30 hours later. So he is, in fact, a murderer. Okay, that's true. It really happened. In the Young Jerks chat, I don't even remember what day it was, the Lothario official posted, they hated Melanie, all in caps. They hated Melanie, all in caps. Whoops. Would be a shame for that to get out with a whole bunch of eyeballs after that. Yes. And then she said, nope. The truth will come out about Melanie when I'm good and ready. So F off. But she said the F word, whatever that means. And then she posted, and this was pulled up on the screen, so it's probably still there. Will called Melanie a rich bitch who bragged about her yacht with a whole bunch of eyeballs. And I think that was somewhere around her $200 super chat to Mike Crawford of the Young Jerks. And he put that one up on the screen. Who hated me? I don't know. They all hated me. Who? I don't care. But Nan thinks that she knows something. I have no idea. Who all hated me? Brian LTL and Mike Crawford and Will and Aidan and Karen. Who is she even talking about? Who tells her anything? She parachuted herself into this case with her $500 super chats. And so weird. right? And then Mike from the Young Jerk said, I would love to go out on Melanie's yacht for the whole weekend. I would love to. I would love it if Melanie would invite me on her yacht for the whole weekend. And it was a little uncomfortable. Got to be honest. I don't care who hates me. That's the thing. I don't care who hates me. I don't care. I'm too old to care. I have teenagers. I don't care. We have enough drama in my house. I really don't care. If you think I'm out here for clicks and likes, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not Will. It's not Will. Will and I are friends. I don't like everything he says. I don't like the use of the C word at all. And honestly, I don't care. I'm good with everyone, as far as I know. If Mike from the Young Jerks hates me, that's news to me. Mazza doesn't hate me because he's here in the chat. If Brian LTL hates me, that's news to me too. Because the first time I became aware of Brian LTL was when he used my Garrett Wing video on his show. And he actually asked me if he could. And I said, yeah, cool. And then I went on we've done shows together before in the past. So I don't have any beef with anybody. I genuinely don't. Except now I got beef with man. Now I do. The truth is going to come out about me when you're good and ready. So F off. Okay. Back to the papers, because that's what we're here to do. All right, hang on. This, we're going to do a separate show on. This, we're going to go back to these papers here. So it's hard to tell what Aidan says in that video, and I'm not sure what he says, but I think it has something to do with Chris Albert killing a man, and that is, in fact, true. He did kill a man. So there's that. Here we go. Put simply, as related to Mr. Kearney, Mr. Cosgrove is the Commonwealth. As a consequence of the above described conflicts and scandals plaguing the prosecution of Mr. Kearney, the Commonwealth's last remaining prosecutor is one who already recused himself from another case due to his conflict with Ms. Gattani. The undesirable reality that Mr. Cosgrove's disqualification will leave this case stateless is the Commonwealth's problem. It's true. It's true. They're stateless. That's their problem. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It may raise some difficult questions about the prosecution of Mr. Kearney, but it should not factor into Mr. Cosgrove's fitness to remain on the case. A further consequence of Mr. Cosgrove being the only prosecutor on this case is that the Commonwealth's response was drafted by a conflicted prosecutor rather than one without a personal interest in seeing Ms. Gattani discredited. And that's exactly what I said. I said, how can Cosgrove even oppose the mega motion? Because an ethical prosecutor would conflict themselves out and would step away. They would step away. They would say, listen, even to avoid the appearance of impropriety, I am stepping away from this. I have to walk away from this case. Because on the one hand, you can't say that, on the one hand, you can't say Lindsay Gattani is a liar because she's suing me, right? Cosgrove, pretend I'm Cosgrove. Lindsay Gattani is a liar because she's suing me, so I have to discredit her. And then because she was served with a subpoena for a grand jury in Aidan's 2024 case, 2023 case, 2020, this case, she was served with a grand jury subpoena to testify in front of the grand jury for the case against all these House defendants. You can't use it as a shield and a sword. You can't try and bolster her credibility in the case against Aidan and then try and shred her credibility in the case against you. Do you see how that's like an unwaivable conflict? It's an unwaivable conflict. Not surprisingly, the tone and substance of Mr. Cosgrove's response illustrates the conflict between him and Ms. Gattani. Right. That tone was wild. It was wild. And I said, maybe he just wants to keep billing. He wanted to bill to draft the response. And so that's what he did. I was so confused. I couldn't believe he even responded to it. Before Ms. Gattani accused him of intentional misconduct, Mr. Cosgrove successfully fought to prevent the public release of embarrassing and private details from her personal life by seeking broad impoundment and protective orders. His view apparently changed once Ms. Gattani sued him. In his response, Mr. Cosgrove publicly regurgitated what he previously condemned Mr. Kearney for widely disseminating about Ms. Gitani. He did. He did. He slut shamed her. He slut shamed her in his public opposition, and it was disgusting. It was disgusting. I don't care if you hate Lindsay Gitani. What he did to her by publicly slut shaming her in public court filings is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. No prosecutor should do that to any woman who's a citizen of the Commonwealth. Gross. Yeah, Melanie Little Yachty. That's hilarious, Pierre. Thank you. I don't have a yacht. I say it all the time. I said the best day of every boater's life is the day that you sell your boat. What? And I did. I unloaded it a long, long, long time ago. Before I ever started my YouTube channel, I believe. Honey and Salt wants to be the head stewardess on the yacht. Remember, today's affirmation, badass affirmation is winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. There it is. Once again, in case you forgot. Yes, Will the Glare actually said that Nan told him. Nan said to Will, Court TV gave me $1 million just as a token of good faith for me to come on and be a new commentator on their show. And then she said, but I gave it back. Will swears that's true. You can't make it up. Even worse, in his response, the prosecutor being sued by Ms. Gitani muses aloud whether she might be prosecuted for perjury if she testifies as a defense witness at trial. Mr. Cosgrove's implication that Ms. Gitani's anticipated U-turn testimony may expose herself to legal peril serves as a public warning to Ms. Gitani that she should not testify at Mr. Kearney's trial. This was wild. For Cosgrove to publicly threaten Lindsay Gitani with perjury charges if she chooses to testify was wild. I went off about it last time. I'm not going to do it again, but you know how I feel about it. And that is footnote number 6, which says, in an ordinary situation, a prosecutor might express concern about a witness's possible criminal exposure. But the dynamic between Ms. Gitani and Mr. Cosgrove is far from ordinary. Mr. Cosgrove had no such concern for Ms. Gitani's welfare when he called her as a prosecution witness against Mr. Kearney at a district court trial after the defense brought information to the Commonwealth's attention that Ms. Gitani would expose herself to possible perjury charges if she testified as anticipated. Oh, we watched that trial, remember? And Cosgrove came out when Meredith O'Neill was on the stand, and he was like, surprise! Wild. Now that Ms. Gitani's interests are adverse to his own, Mr. Cosgrove has publicly expressed concern that she might perjure herself if she testifies in a manner favorable to Mr. Kearney. That's like Ethics 101. You do not, oh, Elaine. Elaine, thank you for your very generous Venmo. Says, fuel to top off the tank on that yacht. Yes, all this drama is so ridiculous. That's the only reason the only one I listen to anymore is you, Melanie. Thanks for all you do. I love you, Elaine. And you're such a kind and generous benefactor to this channel. I love you so much. And I had to. I had to. Thank you, Kyla, who says, I love when you get worked up. Thanks for speaking out for those who can't. Thank you so much. And she said, and Mary, who says, I've heard all the other law tubers read these papers today, but nobody does like you, girl. Thank you. Oh, you're the greatest. You guys are the greatest. You're my audience. I do it for you. And I love you with all of my heart so much. We need yacht merch. Melanie's yacht merch now. Hilarious. One day I'll tell you the story. And Sydney says, funny. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, Sydney. All right, so it looks like from this footnote 6, because that's where all the good stuff is in the footnotes, right? So it seems like before that trial, where Lindsay did testify, and Cosgrove was the attorney for the Commonwealth, and we watched portions of that testimony. It seems that it says here, the defense brought information to the Commonwealth's attention that Ms. Gattani would expose herself to possible perjury if she testified as anticipated. And even though the defense told Cosgrove that, he still called her as a witness. So he didn't care if she perjured herself. And now he's all of a sudden, he's putting it out there publicly that she's opening herself up to perjury charges. Because you can't make it up. Left unanswered and emblematic of the conflict that completes his I'm sorry. Back to one. I almost feel like I gotta do some updates on the Critics' Choice Awards, but let me just get through this. Left unanswered and emblematic of the conflict that compels his disqualification is whether Mr. Cosgrove is A, expressing his personal opinion about Ms. Gattani's credibility and criminal exposure in the event her testimony favors Mr. Kearney, or B, whether he speaks for the public as a representative of the Commonwealth. Of course, this wouldn't be an open question if the Commonwealth had the wherewithal to have its response to a disqualification motion drafted by someone other than the prosecutor who is the subject of the application and whose response includes his personal opinion that the witness suing him likely will perjure herself if she testifies at trial. I bought Melanie's yacht. You might have. Did you? Cupcake Yacht Club is amazing. Cupcake Yacht Club. That's it, Leah. Cupcake Yacht Club. Done. Done. I love it. Think of a good name for the yacht. And whose responses includes his personal opinion. Where was I? Either way, the conflict is undeniable. Mr. Cosgrove personally benefits in the civil case by discrediting Ms. Gattani in the criminal case, which means his continued participation in this matter will lessen the public's confidence in the integrity of the prosecution. Right. Nor should the irony of Mr. Cosgrove's comments about Ms. Gattani's credibility be lost on the court. Here's the irony. A civil defendant / prosecutor with a clear personal motive to discredit his accuser and or prevent her from testifying issued her a public perjury warning in a case where he will argue to the jury that Mr. Kearney attempted to intimidate witnesses by, among other things, urging them to tell the truth. Wow. Just wow. Footnote 7 reads, given the Commonwealth's broad interpretation of the intent and emotional injury elements of witness intimidation, who knows if Ms. Gattani, a witness against Mr. Cosgrove, will allege that public statements by a powerful prosecutor / defendant warning her about criminal exposure if she testifies constitutes witness intimidation of her by the adverse party in her lawsuit. Well, who knows if she will? She's pretty smart, Lindsay is. I know it. You know it. We all know it. We've read her papers. We've read the papers. And Lindsay's smart. And I bet she will allege that the public statements by Cosgrove warning her about criminal exposure if she testifies constitutes witness intimidation. And I'm sure she could get an attorney to take it on contingency. For a civil case anyway. But would Norfolk County DA, I mean, they're conflicted out of prosecuting Cosgrove for such a thing, but crazy, isn't it? I mean, the whole thing is so crazy. You just can't make it up. You just can't make it up. The case against Mr. Kearney is a high-profile matter of public concern, which raises serious issues regarding the intersection of protected speech and alleged witness intimidation. Somebody's got to make this. Somebody's got to make this. Make an intersection with a street sign that says protected speech and the other street sign says alleged witness intimidation. I can picture it in my head. Mr. Kearney and the public are entitled to a conflict-free, unbiased proceeding in which he and the public have confidence. Yeah. You're entitled to it, but where's the public confidence now? After what you just told us about Yuri Buchanan with his tin cup out there and a spoon looking for donations. This case cannot credibly proceed in its current posture. Mr. Cosgrove's personal interest in discrediting Ms. Gattani conflicts with Mr. Kearney's, the Commonwealth's, and the public's interest in fair and just legal proceedings and compels his disqualification for the exact reason Mr. Cosgrove voluntarily withdrew from the 2024 indictment. It is the exact same thing. I don't know why it's so obvious to me and you. Anybody with common sense, but it is obvious. It's an unwaivable conflict. Quote, "It is fundamentally unfair to permit a district attorney to prosecute a case where he has a personal interest which prevents the district attorney from serving his only permissible master, the public. You are his master. It is, of course, improper for a prosecutor to participate in a case where he has a pecuniary interest or if the prosecutor's personal interest as the defendant in a civil case will be furthered by a successful criminal prosecution." And that's a U.S. Supreme Court case called U.S. v. Helt. Or no, it's a D.C. Circuit case, 1981. In such circumstances, a conflict arises because the prosecutor, as a representative of the public, must seek justice to protect the innocent as well as to convict the guilty. The prosecution by a civil defendant may deny the impartial exercise of a prosecutor's discretion. Notwithstanding his personal interest in discrediting Ms. Gattani due to her allegations of misconduct against him, Mr. Cosgrove reasons, just shook the whole thing. That's it, Mo Esquire. Mo, I love you. She says, we should call the yacht Strains Credulity, Montauk, New York. Perfect. And we'll put it at Montauk Yacht Club. And we'll try and get justice for Martha Nolan. O'Slattery. But that may have been a tragic incident. We just don't know if there was anything nefarious that happened there at the Montauk Yacht Club with Martha Nolan. O'Slattery. Wait, Martha Nolan. Emily Tate says, I went to Cancun with Melanie Little on her yacht. Perfect. We're going to get merch out of this. We are. We're going to get merch out of this. I promise you. Melanie's Mirage Yacht Club slogan, sailing on the waves of pure fiction. You guys are so good. Kat Randall says, lounge de cupcake. Oh, Mary says the name of the boat should be Shenanigans with Nan all in capital letters. Motions and Lemonades is Glamasu's. Well done. Nolan, you were right. Yep. Well done. Well done. All right, moving on. I was not in the Marines, but I have Marines in my family, so I know about Semper Fi. Somebody said, well, Marine in the Marines. I wasn't. Notwithstanding his personal interest in discrediting Ms. Gattani due to her allegations of misconduct against him, Mr. Cosgrove reasons that the same conflict that led him to voluntarily withdraw from the 2024 indictment does not require his qualification here because A, Ms. Gattani is not a necessary Commonwealth witness, and B, any testimony she might provide is not relevant. Remember I said that was ridiculous? Bederow said it was ridiculous too. A defendant has a constitutional right to attack a witness's credibility by establishing that witness's bias and motive to falsely accuse him. This includes revealing possible biases, prejudices, or ulterior motives of the witness as they may relate directly to issues or personalities in the case at hand. Sprinkles and subpoenas. Well done, Leah. Thanks for your super chat. Thank you. I'm going to get to the super chats. There's a bunch, and I want to do them all at the same time. I just want to get through this because it's 22 pages, and we're only on page 12. All right, here we go. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a whole yacht menu, KBD. We're going to do it all. We're going to do it all. We're going to do it all. When they trash me, we make merch. We have Grant Smith Ellis to thank for the I went to Cancun with Melanie Little sweatshirts, and I heard that he apologized to me. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I heard that Grant has turned over a new leaf, and he apologized to me about that, but I haven't seen it. Melanie took me to Block Island on her yacht. And we need a yacht music playlist. Thank you, Sydney. That's right. The SS sidebar. We need a yacht playlist. Oh my God, we're going to do it all. We're going to do all of it. So good. You guys are so good to me. All right, moving on. When Grant Smith Ellis is the most reasonable person in the room, you know that things have shifted. Okay, you know that things have shifted. I'm just saying. He came for me when he thought I was the Haley Walbrecht account because the Haley Walbrecht account kept threatening to release Lindsay's total phone extraction and then did. And it wasn't me, but everyone was accusing it of being me. And guess he was just defending his friend. But again, it wasn't me. Assuming arguendo that Mr. Cosgrove does not call Ms. Gattani as a witness and that her testimony would not be relevant to the substance of the indicted charges, Ms. Gattani's testimony will undermine the credibility of key prosecution witnesses Tully, Ms. McCabe, and possibly others. See Bederow affidavit October 2nd, 2025 and November 17th, 2025. Yachts and machos from Melanie Little. Yachtly crew. You guys are thanks, Jenny. We'll get to these because you got to keep me laughing. Otherwise, we have to keep laughing. Otherwise, we'll be crying all the time. Redneck Yacht Club is going through my head right now. Thanks to you. I just want to say, Allie Larder, if you haven't seen the Critics' Choice red carpet yet, go watch it later. Allie Larder was smoking. All right. In addition to being examined about issues that adversely impact, and you know how I love it, Landman. In addition to being examined about issues that adversely impact Ms. McCabe's credibility and Tully's possible tampering with her cell phone. Wait, what? Oh, Ms. Gattani may be questioned about separate civil allegations. Oh, okay. Tully possibly tampering with Lindsay's cell phone. Okay. I thought he was tampering with Jen McCabe's cell phone. I was like, what? In addition to being examined about issues that adversely impact Ms. McCabe's credibility and D.L. Tully's possible tampering with her cell phone, Ms. Gattani may be questioned about separate civil allegations pending against Tully in 2 lawsuits. Footnote 8. The court has discretion to decide whether Tully's credibility is a critical issue and whether his alleged misconduct is admissible in the interest of justice. And here's a 2020 case to back it up. In any scenario in which Mr. Cosgrove examines these witnesses and or comments on their credibility, fundamental fairness requires that the jury may be made aware that the prosecutor addressing it has a personal interest in discrediting Ms. Gattani and crediting those whose credibility is damaged by Ms. Gattani. But such a scenario would expose the jury to Mr. Cosgrove's conflict of interest, which means that the proper remedy is to ensure that another disinterested prosecutor conduct these examinations and address the credibility of these witnesses. Yes. Can you find one? Can you find one? It is axiomatic that an individual prosecutor cannot prosecute a case in which his personal interests differ from those of the Commonwealth, where there is a significant risk that an individual prosecutor's representation of the Commonwealth in a specific matter will be materially limited by the lawyer's personal interest, the prosecutor shall not represent the Commonwealth in the case. Shall not. It is not optional. See Massachusetts Rules of Professional Conduct, Rule 17A2, which you may have to look at right away because that is very important. Hang on a second. Gigi, I don't know what you're saying, but did you want me to read your other super chat out loud? Because I didn't want to read it out loud because I didn't want everyone attacking you. So if you're telling me you don't understand, I know you don't understand what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying. I disagree with what you're saying respectfully, and I think we're both entitled to our opinions. And you said just a little girl from Texas that sees through crazy. I will not bother this chat nor you again. That's ridiculous. You're not bothering anybody. I mean, Lindsay's credibility is at issue, and Meredith's credibility is at issue, and there's a lot more to a lot of these stories than we know. And so I'm not going to, disparage anyone in my chat. And I didn't read your super chat that you sent me by Cash App on purpose. So that's Gigi. Thanks for another 10. If you feel like you can't watch the show anymore, I'm sorry about that, but I thought I was doing you a solid by not reading it out loud. And you're not bothering me. And she says, in my opinion, do not trust Lindsay G. That is it. Okay, it's not for me to trust Lindsay or not trust Lindsay, right? My trust of Lindsay is irrelevant here. What is relevant here is whether or not Aidan Kearney is being wrongfully persecuted for witness intimidation. That's all I care about. Okay, you say, I do not trust Lindsay, nor will I be okay with that. She sent Aidan to jail with zero conscience. I don't know about her conscience. I haven't spoken to her. But I do know that Lindsay Gattani has all the receipts and that she came into this chat and said that she did not want to prosecute Aidan Kearney, that they took her phone, they looked through it, and they said, and they wrote up a report. And I think that Lindsay is going to be, in the end, more helpful to Aidan Kearney than anyone. And I think, whether or not Aidan and Lindsay's relationship is between Aidan and Lindsay. And I don't read it. Okay, now you're going to, okay, I'm going to read it. You just said, don't trust Lindsay. It's not about me trusting anyone. I'm here to read the papers and talk about the case. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And if that upsets you, please quit trusting Gattani. Did I say that I trusted her? I'm literally reading the papers. And that's it. That's it. Oh, C Bean says, Melanie, we've yacht your back. That is so good. That is so good. I don't trust anybody, Gigi. I don't trust anybody. Okay. To be honest with you, I do not trust anyone. My circle is very, 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 very small. Ask people who know me. I do not trust anybody. Moving on. I'm not going to argue with you, Gigi. I'm just not going to argue with you tonight. I'm not in the mood. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you want to go out there and bash me all over the internet, go ahead. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing to talk about that. It is not up to me. Yacht today, Satan. Oh my God, that is so good, Ruth. Not that has anything to do with Gigi. I am here to talk about the papers, not about whether or not I personally trust Lindsay Gattani, because I don't know her. I don't know her. I've never spoken to her. I don't know her at all. This is between Aidan and Lindsay. And now Cosgrove has made it his problem. He's got to recuse himself. That's it. It's not up to me or us. No, it's not. I'm just here to read the papers. I don't talk about people's like personal relationships because I really don't care. I really don't care. Moving on. Rule 1.7A2 says, 1.7A2. Conflict of interest, current clients. Except as provided in paragraph B, a lawyer shall not represent a client if the representation involves a concurrent conflict of interest. A concurrent conflict of interest exists if, number 2, there is a significant risk that the representation of one or more clients will be materially limited by the lawyer's responsibilities to another client, a former client, or a third person, or by a personal interest of the lawyer. That's what they're getting to, personal interest of the lawyer. Personal interest of the lawyer. You can't do it. It's a conflict. It seems obvious, but hopefully this judge will see how obvious it is. Here, Mr. Cosgrove's personal interest in seeing Ms. Gattani discredited differs from the Commonwealth's interests, which in every case is to see that justice is done. The district attorney properly has only the master of the people of the Commonwealth. His duty is to seek justice and to protect the innocent, as well as to convict the guilty. In accordance with its obligation to see that justice is done, it is in the Commonwealth's interest to investigate allegations that may adversely impact the credibility of its witnesses, even if the results may favor Mr. Kearney. It is therefore incumbent that the Commonwealth fully vet Ms. Gattani's claims regarding the credibility of Tully, Ms. McCabe, and others. Ms. Gattani has alleged that she was pressured to cooperate by Ms. McCabe. She did allege that. Should we watch the video? We're going to watch the video. There we go. She was pressured to cooperate by Ms. McCabe. Hopefully you can hear this.
Yes, the very first time I spoke to Jen McCabe, I was driving to the Polar Express with my kids, had my speakerphone on, talking to Kate, didn't know that she was on speaker or was with anybody. And all of a sudden she says, "Oh, I'm with Jen McCabe." And Jen McCabe just hops on the phone. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say to this person. Like, I've never met her. I just said, "Oh, I'm so sorry for everything that you've been going through, you know." And she says to me, just like this has been said before, "If you were really sorry, you would testify before the grand jury." Excuse me, bitch. And yes, I did say this to Aidan on the night that he came over my house, December 23rd. That disgusted me. Rubbed me absolutely the wrong way. Like, first of all, I have nothing to be sorry for. I never participated in any protests. I never participated in any.
If you really cared, you would testify in front of the grand jury, is what she says. And that was posted on her Substack. What Lindsay Gattani says that Jennifer McCabe said to her. Okay, hang on. And there it is. There's video proof of that. Whether you believe Lindsay Gattani or not, that's a matter for the finder of fact. It's not up to me. She has claimed that Ms. McCabe provided benefits to Catherine Peter. Okay, here's another video. Well, it's not another video, but it's a post. Let's look at this. This was posted by, it's a tweet. It says, tweet by Lindsay Gattani. Somebody named Picky Bee says, "I just want to know about the couch, Lindsay. Please just spill the couch tea." And then Lindsay says, and this is from 9/23/25, Lindsay says, oops, I don't know about the couch. I was kicked out of their secret Discord last December because I told Grant about Jen paying for Kate's makeover / haircut / clothes. I was then given a warning about who I could and could not speak to. Next day, I was locked out and the smear campaign began online, followed by the fake dono to my legal fundraiser and sabotaging it by deliberately lying and saying it wasn't a real one. She tweeted that September 23rd of 2025. 3,300 views. She has asserted that Ms. McCabe has voodoo dolls of Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed in her home. Yes, she did. And there's a tweet from 10/9/25, October 9th, 2025, that says, fun fact, Jen McCabe has several voodoo dolls of Karen Reed, Aidan Kearney, and others sitting in a wicker bowl on a table in her dining room. That's sane. It's dated October 9th, 2025. Wonder who else she has voodoo dolls of. Allegedly. She was told by Catherine Peter that Ms. McCabe was worried about the disclosure of text messages between her and Carrie Roberts, which revealed that a few days after John O'Keefe's death, they discussed who would play them in a movie. And here is a tweet from December 9th, 2025, in which Lindsay Gattani says, quote, I've gotten calls from reporters. I'm lightly involved in the public. Even Netflix wants a bite of this apple. Was that their goal from the beginning? Is that why Kate told me that Jen McCabe was worried about her text messages coming out between her and Carrie Roberts from February 1, 2022, 3 days after John O'Keefe's death, where Jen says the movie would be made about them and Carrie calls dibs on Sandra Bullock playing her character? I mean, Kate lies a lot, so who knows? But I'm sure we'll eventually find out if this is true through civil discovery, right? And that tweet was dated 12/9/25 and had 50,000 views. Just reading the papers. It is in the footnote 9. Let's get to footnote 9. Here's footnote 9. Who would play them in a movie? Footnote 9 says, on December 20th, 2025, Ms. Roberts publicly claimed that she and Ms. McCabe joked about Sandra Bullock coming out of retirement because they needed her. Ms. Roberts also said that they determined Ms. McCabe was Angelina, presumably Angelina Jolie, and that we even had an actor in mind to play Mr. O'Keefe in a movie. Oh, no. I mean, does this go right to the part? All right, this is a footnote. This is a footnote. So I'm just playing this because it's a footnote. This is the House Defendants YouTube channel. Hang on. Oh, please. This is entitled Carrie Roberts discussing joking about Sandra Bullock and Angelina Jolie movie and text with Jen McCabe. Let me know if you can hear it. Oops.
Talked about, because obviously we had all talked. Another thing that I was going to mention that we hadn't.
Okay. And so Carrie Roberts appeared on this channel for the House Defendants channel recently. I'm not sure exactly when, but I think Bederow just said it. But let me just enlarge this. The woman, Carrie Roberts is on the left here. Her handler, Mama Llama, is on the right. And that is Jen McCabe's self-proclaimed best friend, I think. So I'm going to just enlarge it on them because it's Carrie Roberts who's going to be talking.
Another thing that I was going to mention that we hadn't talked about, because obviously we had all talked, me and the girls before, about things we wanted to ask you, but there was something we didn't even hit on. And I feel like I don't even want to bring it up because it's so ridiculous.
What the hell?
But I mean, but I feel like it makes me so angry when I see these ridiculous, and it's just in the last few days where you don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say Sandra Bullock.
Oh,
and
poor Sandra Bullock, by the way. Like,
that's
I don't think she has like any of this.
It
This is from December 20th of 2025.
really angers me because as someone who I deal with things, which you know, because you do too, and Jen does too, with like humor, right? No matter what happens, my dad died 5 years ago, it's the worst day of my life. It's still the worst day of my life. I made jokes that day. Like my brother made jokes that day. Like that's what we do, right? And the audacity of these people to take one text, right? 3 days into
Which shouldn't be out in the world,
Correct.
by the way.
Correct.
That's
another
another
whole issue. That's another whole issue. But 3 days into the most.
So they're not denying it. They're not denying it. And Carrie Lama, I'm sorry for your loss. It really hurts to lose a parent. I'm very sorry for your loss. A lot of people a lot of people use humor in a traumatic situation. I get it. We're trying to laugh here all the time.
Traumatic, awful, what I would think would be ever in your life to happen, the most traumatic event that you guys made a light moment, right? For 1 second.
To bring levity to a
The
situation.
audacity
Yeah.
of
Well, it
these,
wasn't just us.
Right.
We were all saying, like, this is going to be a movie. Like, you don't have
Right.
a brother, a sister, and her husband die within 2 months of each other, and then John died. Like, it wasn't even
Right.
who did it. Like, there was no blame. Like,
Right.
it was just holy shit.
But
like,
even like
this
just,
is going to be a
that's
movie.
normal, it doesn't even it's just the audacity of these people to take this and they try as they might, right? It never comes off. Like it never goes to anyone else except these weirdos that try to make it into something it's not, but
You're all a bunch of weirdos. If you think it's weird that they did this, you're all a bunch of weirdos.
it just really, it just blows my mind, the things that, and if this is all
Hey, at least their channel made it into a hyperlink in the latest Bederow Sur-Reply, right? Karen's civil lawyers are salivating over this interview with Carrie Roberts. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Carrie Roberts is not a co-defendant in that lawsuit, but some of the things she says are not very good for the House defendants, in my opinion. It's going to be a whole episode.
they have, I was saying that, I think maybe I said it to Julie today. If all these people have is stuff like that and made up things, I mean, God help.
But wait, it's not
Aidan
made
Kearney
up.
and his-
It's not made up because you just said that she was joking. She just said she was joking, so it's not made up, right?
Stuff like that and made up things. I mean, God help Aidan Kearney in his case and the civil case, because
Come on. Are you telling me you don't know how to pronounce Kearney? I mean, if there's one thing that you know, is how to pronounce Aidan Kearney's name. She just called him Kearney? Okay.
have is stuff like that and made up things. I mean, God help Aidan Kearney in his case and the civil case, because it's not going to be like the criminal trial. I think we all know that.
You're right. It's going to be a lot worse for the House
If
defendants.
these things are the only things they have, then
Well,
Good
let
luck.
me just clear up the
I
Sandra
mean,
Bullock thing for just a
Well, that's
moment.
where it's coming from, right? It's coming
Right.
from Aidan
From
Kearney
him.
and
Right.
his
I couldn't tell you,
little
but I will tell you this.
person.
Ladies, you do nothing but tweet about Aidan and other people that you hate who believe that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. Okay. If you want us, do you really expect us to believe that you don't know how to pronounce his name? Really? This is Julie Carpenter over here on the right side of your screen. This is Tuesday Gazette. I'm not sure if her name is really Tuesday or if that's a just like a pen name that she goes by on the cesspool of Twitter. But do you really expect us to believe you don't know how to pronounce Kearney? Come on. Come on.
Just clear up the Sandra
mean,
Bullock for just a
Well, that's
moment.
where it's coming from, right?
She wants to clear up the Sandra Bullock rumor, and everyone's trying to shut her up. They're trying to shut her up.
Right? It's coming
Right.
from Aidan Kearney
From him.
and his
I couldn't tell you,
little
but I will tell you this.
person.
I don't
Sandra
even know who's
Bullock,
talking.
And-
I love her, but she's not tall. Neither am I. She's brunette, as am I. That's as far as it went. And the woman isn't even
And they're giggling about it like it is funny. They think it's funny too. They're giggling.
acting. And I think the joke was, I hope Sandra Bullock comes out of retirement because we might need her. Like, I didn't go, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jen, we had said was Angelina. I don't even remember. We had one for John. We had someone for everybody. And it was one of those.
Tell us, who did you want to play John? Who was going to play John O'Keefe in the movie 3 days after his death or something? You had somebody for everybody. Who was going to play John? 1 week from tonight. No, 1 week. What day is it? The 10th. Today's Sunday, right? Today's the 4th. On the 10th is the Lifetime movie about Karen Reed is going to premiere. We're going to have to watch it and then discuss it the next day. I'm interested to know the rest of their casting choices.
I was like, who are you going to play in the movie? You got to remember, the 4 days, the day it happened, I didn't eat, which at the time, I understand. I was lard ass, whatever. They called me whatever need be. But I didn't eat for 4 days. Like, I didn't know my name. I logged on to work on Monday. And some of my...
Another thing that I was
4 days. She didn't eat. She didn't even know her own name. And you know what's so interesting about those 4 days? She gave a couple of interviews, didn't she, to police, but she didn't even know her own name. She didn't eat. She didn't sleep. She logged on to work and they were like, what are you doing here? What does that tell you about the credibility of the statements she might have given during that time when she didn't eat and didn't even know her own name? I don't know. But that was a hyperlink, my friends. And that was from December 20th, 2025 on the House Defendants YouTube channel. Moving on. It is in the Commonwealth's interest to investigate these claims because if they are true, Ms. McCabe's credibility will be undermined. Do you think they're going to investigate these claims? I doubt it. Ms. Gattani will testify that D.L. Tully intentionally mishandled her cell phone by tampering with and or deleting its contents. D.L. Tully will deny this. Mr. Cosgrove has accepted D.L. Tully's explanation without any further investigation. Clearly, these issues are relevant to D.L. Tully's credibility, and the jury should not be ignorant to the fact that the prosecutor addressing it has a personal interest in favoring D.L. Tully over Ms. Gattani because he was sued by Ms. Gattani and is D.L. Tully's co-defendant. Everything that is a hyperlink is a receipt. And this hyperlink that says tampering with, Ms. Gattani will testify that Tully intentionally mishandled her cell phone by tampering with and or deleting, deleting its contents, hyperlinks to this page. This is a tweet of Lindsay Gattani, and it tags Massachusetts State Police, Mass Governor, Mass AGO, Christina Rex, Boston Globe, Gordon Russell, Globe Spotlight, WCVB, Boston 25, Ted Daniel News, WBZ, 7 News, and Boston Herald. What really happened with my phone extraction and how demoted MSP DL Brian Tully was involved. More information has come to light and will be addressed in the near future. The aftermath. Special Prosecutor Ken Mello, Special Prosecutor Cosgrove, Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully. So recused for Mello, recused for Cosgrove, Tully demoted. And there's a little like meme there. And that was October 14th, 2025. Next tweet. Meanwhile, Brian Tully ordered Ken Mello to intentionally release 15 unredacted years of my phone extraction as a witness to essentially nothing. Ted Daniel is the bravest reporter in Massachusetts, and as she tags him. Then it says, say the names of the corrupt. Brian Tully, John Fanning, Michael Marcy, Kate Peter. And then she attaches Ted Daniels' tweet from 10/24/25. Ted Daniels says, judge asked to shield highly sensitive data, including intimate images from former trooper Michael Proctor's phone. And this was tweeted by Lindsay 10/24/25. And then her next tweet, let me be very effing clear, but she spells it out. Michael Proctor, as Emily C. noted, is a problem. That's a typo. It should say Emily C. Michael Proctor, as Emily C. noted, is a problem, but the problem is the people who enabled his behavior. Anyone who is refusing to say the names are cowards. Brian Tully, Brian Tully, Brian Tully, Brian Tully, Brian Tully, Brian Tully. And if you are a man, men who I thought were good men, and you are too scared to speak the truth, it will not bode well for you because I will never quit using my voice. Bank on it, said Lindsay Gattani, 10/24/25. And that got 29,000 views. People say Ted is the best. He was the most unbiased reporter, in my opinion, locally for Karen Reed. And then it says, Mr. Cosgrove has accepted DL Tully's explanation. And that hyperlinks to a 6-page letter dated May 8th, 2024 to Tim Bradle, delivered by hand. I guess he didn't want to use a stamp. And it is a 6-page letter. And in it, he says, okay, hang on. We like receipts here, so let's look at the receipts. Regarding previously provided, I have had an opportunity to discuss with Lieutenant Tully his communications. There are indeed texts, and Lieutenant Tully will take screenshots of them and provide them to me. Subject to my actual review of them, my initial impression would be that as statements of a witness, you are likely entitled to them, but as noted, I want to review them first. I do not expect this to take long. Lieutenant Tully has no email from Ms. Gattani. I am not so sure you are entitled to the phone records you seek, but we'll take a closer look at that issue. In any event, they are not in our possession. We will pursue the issue initially by seeking them from the appropriate cell phone carrier. And talking all about other things that Tully said, and he believed everything that Tully said. I think we've been over this letter before, but in any event, we don't have time to read all 6 pages of it tonight. We've already been here for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and we're still going. Clearly, these issues are relevant to DL Tully's credibility, and the jury should not be ignorant to the fact that the prosecutor addressing it has a personal interest in favoring Tully over Ms. Gattani because he was sued by Ms. Gattani and is DL Tully's co-defendant. As is the case with evidence regarding Ms. McCabe's credibility, it is in the Commonwealth's interest to determine whether Ms. Gattani's allegations about Tully are true. But it is in Mr. Cosgrove's personal interest to simply credit Ms. McCabe and his co-defendant Tully and to discredit Ms. Gattani. Moreover, Mr. Cosgrove is incapable of acting in the Commonwealth's interest regarding Ms. Gattani's allegations because he cannot directly engage his accuser. In any event, it is hard to fathom why Ms. Gattani would agree to speak to Mr. Cosgrove about these issues, given their present legal entanglement. The bottom line is that any scenario in which Mr. Cosgrove argues in support of Tully's credibility and or against Ms. Gattani's credibility serves his personal interest above all else. There's simply no way around this conflict. I don't know how many more ways I can say this. I mean, I feel like every single time we've read something about this, it's unbelievable. It's wild. As described by the DC Court of Appeals, Ms. Gattani's unvetted allegations make it untenable for Mr. Cosgrove to prosecute this case because his personal interest in discrediting Ms. Gattani is in conflict with the Commonwealth's interest in seeing that justice is done. And leads to the inescapable conclusion that his participation fails to preserve the appearance of impartiality in the proceedings. As previously noted, this appearance of impartiality will be further destroyed by the Norfolk SPDU's failure to recuse itself. Mr. Proctor's biased and disparaging comments about Mr. Kearney during the investigation, and evidence of Sergeant Buchanan's lack of impartiality, fundraising efforts, and advocacy on behalf of witnesses against Mr. Kearney. Footnote 10. Sergeant Buchanan's fundraising on behalf of prosecution witnesses obligates the Commonwealth under Brady, Giglio, and Rule 14 to investigate and then disclose any evidence that tends to show that the McCabes and Alberts were offered, sought, expected, or received any possible benefits related to Sergeant Buchanan's solicitation on their behalf. This includes communications between and among Sergeant Buchanan and the witnesses and records of money received by the witnesses related to Sergeant Buchanan's request for donations. Yes. Yes. They are now obligated, now that they are on notice of Yuri Buchanan's furious tweeting and Facebooking posts soliciting donations for the House defendants, they are now obligated to investigate it. It can't be any more clear than that. And all of their communications are going to be discoverable. And it, again, falls under the category of you better want what you wish for. If you want Yuri Buchanan, and I'm not saying that they wanted him to do this, to go out there and publish your GoFundMe or GiveSendGo and seek donations with cash back, you open yourself up to a huge can of worms called discovery. And the Commonwealth is obligated to investigate that. Obligated. It's not optional. They are obligated to do it. Because under Brady and Giglio and Rule 14, Buchanan can never testify again because he has shown his clear bias. He will be eviscerated on the stand. Okay? They're falling like dominoes. Proctor was only the first. We will be covering this case for years to come. This case, Karen Reed's civil cases, for years. Better want what you wish for. And we all know how they investigate, somebody said, right? Yeah, that's why we got to stay interested in this civil trial. This is where it's going to come out. It's the only way to any accountability, says Mo Esquire. Absolutely. Absolutely. Unfortunately, it takes a long time and there's not a lot of hearings. So it's not as, the shows on it are going to be fewer and further between, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop covering it. But I also have a lot of other cases that we are also covering right now. that have a lot of stuff going on that are more time sensitive. And Karen Reed's civil case could take, as even they said in court, it could take up to 10 years. So many depositions, so much discovery. In these circumstances, it is improper for a prosecutor to participate in a case where a threat to his personal and professional reputation is created by a bona fide civil lawsuit alleging bad faith in the performance of his official duties. Yes, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Lindsay Gattani has a very strong civil case against them as well. She just does. Yeah, we need to get the likes up. Everyone take some time right now to please hit the like button. It's like what you do when you walk into somebody's house. You might wipe your feet on the mat, and you hit the like button. This is the exact situation that exists here in light of Ms. Gattani's allegations against Mr. Cosgrove, footnote 11. Which reads, Mr. Cosgrove's opinion that Ms. Gattani's lawsuit will not survive a motion to dismiss does not absolve the conflict. The conflict is created by Ms. Gattani's allegations, which, even if not the subject of an active lawsuit, create the risk of reputational and professional damage to Mr. Cosgrove. That's right. Rule number 1. As a judge, an attorney, a prosecutor, is to avoid the appearance of impropriety, even the appearance of impropriety. And I have said this many, many times about Judge Beverly Kearney. Whether or not she thought that she had any improper relationship with any of the House defendants or any of the investigators or any of the people involved in this and the Venmo transaction between Ryan Nagel and Julianne Nagel that said something like, for Frank and Beverly, that was on a chalk shown in court during the motion to recuse. Whether or not Beverly Kearney thought she had a conflict or not, to avoid the appearance of impropriety, the smart thing to do would be to recuse yourself from that case. And the wild thing in Massachusetts is that when a motion to recuse is filed against a judge, the judge who hears the motion is the judge that you're asking to recuse themselves. Right? Correct? That's weird. We've seen other cases. I think it was Robert Tellis. Was it the Robert Tellis trial? In Robert Tellis, he made a motion for the prosecutor, or was it the judge, to recuse himself? The judge, right? And a different judge heard the motion to recuse, right? So it's wild that you make a motion to recuse and then you got to recuse like yourself. That's wild. Now, the appearance of impropriety. So I want to do a poll. And it's not regarding Judge Kearney because that's over. It's over. How many of you are following Kelsey Fitzsimmons with me? I'm going to do a poll. And I want to ask those of you that have followed Kelsey Fitzsimmons with me, and there's over, how many of you here? And so please only vote if you're familiar with the case and you know about the case. Over 5,000 people here. I want to do a poll about whether or not you believe Judge Kathleen McCarthy Nyman has shown the appearance of bias. Just whether she has shown the appearance of bias. Will you be willing to take that poll if I put it up in the chat? And this is just you as a member of the public watching the Kelsey Fitzsimmons, I'm going to say shenanigans, but I'm going to say proceedings, listening to the recording of Judge McCarthy Nyman. Okay, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll so it's a little bit more official. But the thing is, I got to go. It's a whole weird place that I got to go to. And I just want to know what you think, because the appearance of impropriety is what is important for a judge, right? And we know that in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons appeal, they asked the appellate court to send the case back in front of a different judge. They've asked for a different judge to be assigned. There was a different judge who heard it. He was a man, and it seemed that he did a lot of work with the police, and he did hear it for like one or two hearings, right? I forget his name has escaped me. Drexler, maybe Judge Drexler. I don't know. We're covering so much stuff, you guys, that it's hard. All right, I'm going to do a poll. And please only answer this if you know. And I'd like to get a large sampling. So regarding Fitzsimmons, and this is your opinion. Do you think Judge Kathleen McCarthy, hold on. Seems biased? I guess that's like the easiest way that I can put it. Regarding Fitzsimmons, do you think, and this is your observations, Judge Kathleen McCarthy Nyman seems biased? All right, yes or no? It's just yes or no, or I guess I'll add another. I'm just going to do yes or no. If you don't know, then just don't vote. Okay. Hold on. All right, wait, not sure. Hold on, because I'm going to put it up. Start poll. All right. And I'm going to leave it up there for a while. So please vote if you can, because I'm curious, because many of us saw it in Judge Kearney, and Judge Kearney didn't see it, even though she was provided with receipts. And so there you go. If you would so kindly vote, I would appreciate it, because I'm curious about if I'm being hyperbolic, if it's just something that I am seeing that nobody else is seeing, that she threw her back in jail without. The whole thing is horrific. Thank God Kelsey Fitzsimmons is home now. She can't see her baby, but she's home. Accordingly, given the need to promote the appearance of justice, a trial court on a timely motion should disqualify a prosecutor from participating in a criminal action when he has a personal conflicting interest in a civil case. The district attorney must be held to the highest ethical standards, which include even the appearance of a conflict of interest. Conclusion. For the foregoing reasons, and those stated in the prior defense submissions, the court should disqualify Robert Cosgrove from participating in the prosecution of docket number, this is the 2023 case, 2382. And this is regarding all of the House defendants and others, dated December 30th, 2025. XOXO, Mark Bederow, Timothy Bradel, thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. Let's go to the chat. I mean, it seems wild to me. It seems to me Buchanan has shown the worldwide audience his bias in no uncertain terms. Thank you on top for your super sticker. Happy New Year. Karis, thanks for being here for 9 months. Bridget, thanks for your 5 Sunday night positive vibes with Melanie Little. We're trying. Oh, we're trying. Kimberly guessed Dion Branch for my jersey. No, it is not my jersey. That is not the jersey that I have on. It's Corey Dillon. This is a Corey Dillon, like 2004, circa 2004, 2006 jersey. That's how vintage it is. Bridget, Rhode Island here supporting the Patriots. Thanks, Bridget, for your 2. Single mama to 4 crazy says, I'm so happy you're live tonight. I need your recommendations for a pre or post Broadway dinner and any must-dos around New York City. Carmine's is always the go-to for everyone before every Broadway show. Carmine's is an awesome Italian restaurant. It's family style. It's classic. It's iconic. And so Carmine's is get a reservation though. I think they take reservations, right? I'll be there for work Wednesday to Thursday and treated myself to a ticket to Wicked Wednesday night. You're going to love it. Go to Carmine's. It's a landmark. If anybody else likes any place better than Carmine's in the theater district for a pre-show dinner, tag single mama to 4 crazies. And thank you so much for your 10. Gigi says, being a Dallas Cowboy fan, my entire life sucks, but will always be a fan. My no-no would strike me down if I did not continue to be a fan. Thank you, Gigi, for your 5. Jenny says, you're a real one. And that's all. Love you, Jenny. Mo Esquire says, I didn't think you could look, oh, that is so sweet, until you put on a Pats jersey. Didn't think you could look more gorgeous until you put on a Pats jersey. All hail the queen. Oh, thank you, Mo. Rhonda, thanks for being here for 2 months. Says, hi, happy New Year. Love being here. I love having you here. Each and every one of you who takes the time to spend so much time with me. Please vote in the poll. And this is whether or not you think Judge McCarthy Nyman has shown bias. And by bias, I mean bias against Kelsey Fitzsimmons. And I would like to get, as many votes as we can. And right now we're over 1,000 votes. So please, I'd like a good sampling on this because maybe I'm being hyperbolic. I don't know. Aunt BB, hello, says I'm back. And thank you so much for all your help. I don't know, Aunt BB, what happened. I don't know. It's weird because you weren't blocked. Apparently there's many, and YouTube is aware that we just couldn't chat. Yeah, you were not blocked on my end, so it was weird. And so, love you. So happy after 5 days of YouTube punishment that I can be a cupcake again. Can we send YouTube to Block Island? Yeah, if you got any, if they actually responded to you and told you what the issue was, please, forward it to me. Aunt BB was my first member ever on this channel, and she will always be my first member, and I love her so much. Steph says, Patriots Nation is in Norfolk County. Well, I do not know that Stephon Diggs is facing charges for allegedly slapping and potentially choking his personal chef, and that they were living in Dedham, and that's happening in Dedham District Court. But I didn't know Patriots Nation is in Norfolk County. Thank you to the Kiwi Crypt Keeper for being a new member and Uncivil Law. Hi, this is old, so I don't even know if you're still here, but it says, don't fall into the trap of justifying what you were doing. And as a content creator, you will never make everyone happy, and it will drive you nuts. Well, that's why I'm not a cupcake. I'm not a cupcake. I can't make everyone happy. I don't care. I legit don't care. I love your 10, and I thank you so much, Kurt. But there's no traps that I will be falling into here, and I'm not justifying it, but when somebody comes out and publicly trashes me, it's going to get addressed. I don't let trolls just slide on by. And we're all here for lessons, Kurt. Love you. Nate Taylor says, Emily and Melanie on a Sunday, we're winning. Oh, Emily was on it today too? Thanks, Nate. Gigi says, if I was ever picked for Survivor, I would vote my own ass off the show. Well, we love you, Gigi. I hope you're not mad, but I'm reading the papers. Gigi gifted 10 memberships because she's amazing. We can agree to disagree sometimes, right? Hold on. Hold, please. Thank you, Gigi. I love you, even if you're mad at me. Mozzie says, we are all your people always. Thank you for being here for 24 months. Johnny, 15 months. Happy New Year to you, Johnny. Gigi, I made it to the second season of Big Brother, but could not leave my children. Crazy, huh? Wait, what do you mean? You were going to be on Big Brother? You were went on a casting call and they picked you? That is crazy. Bridget says, discussing that Court TV said she is a monster. Yes, you saw my Instagram. Thanks, Bridget. That's about Sarah Grace Patrick. Thank you. Thank you. Donnie Cole 39 says, looking good in a Pats jersey. 4 months, been here. C Bean says, anyone who doesn't like Spicy Melanie can just beat it on down the line. Beat it on down the line. Thank you for your 5. Bethany White says, happy 1 month anniversary. Beautiful. Oh, you are beautiful. Look at you. Beautiful. Thank you. And Free Turtleboy says, Bridget. Bethany White, both the JLab earbuds that you have in your Amazon shopping list, love them. P.S. My kids need to go back to school. I miss watching you uninterrupted. Tomorrow. Isn't tomorrow the day? Thank you, Bethany, for your 10. Josh says, so if I don't know they're FBI, can I lie to them? She lied to them by saying she was Nicole. And then even after I think it was confirmed that they were FBI, she lied to them about how many people she called on the phone. So there was a couple of lies, right? Everything's relative, Josh. Didn't Walsh pick up charges for lying to the MSP? He did. It's the same witness intimidation statute that Aidan Kearney is being persecuted under. It's the same statute. It's also lying to the police. And he did pick up those charges. Yes. Behind Blue Eyes says he will now be sharing a ham sandwich with Proctor. Proctorial misconduct. Well done on the username says, I wonder, do you think some of these people truly believe this stuff? Are there McCabe's and Alberts so easily able to convince them? Or do they really lie so easily and absolutely? How are they not embarrassed? I don't know. Is that rhetorical? Is that a rhetorical question? Thank you for your 10. Anybody who has an answer for proctorial misconduct, please Tag him or her in your answer. Our orange guy says the truth severed in a red solo cup. Well done. Here's your super chat. On top says, here's true words. Hard for a man to disgrace the core and badge as much or more than dictionary Yuri. Thank you on top for your 5. K Bella says, Yuri said, Proctor, hold my beer. Thanks, K Bella. Josh says, do the McCabe's and Alberts not realize that murder has no statute of limitations? All caps, he says, you will face justice. Thank you, Josh, for all your super chats. And Lindsay says, what about the fact that Nicole Albert claimed that Karen Reed being found innocent changed their lives forever? Why, if they are innocent, would Karen Reed's verdict affect them at all? That's a great question. That is a great question. Thank you, Lindsay, for your 10. And Bibi says, just imagine how many other innocent people are looking through bars. Yes, a lot. Charlie says, AJ, thanks, Yuri. Keep them coming. Oh, yeah. Oh, Karen's civil team couldn't be happier with all of these interviews that they're doing. All of these interviews that they're doing and all of these things that Yuri is publishing publicly for all the world to see. They must be very happy, the civil team. Tortoise Inferences, thanks for everything you do. Proud to be a cupcake. Thanks for being here for 17 months. I appreciate you so much. And thank you. I'm Gumby, damn it. Which reminds me also of Eddie Murphy from SNL way back in the day. The conflict of interest law, which we actually did look at. Weird Debbie, thank you for being here for 8 months. Aunt BB, maybe the credit for giving money is you get out of jail free card, allegedly. Thanks, Aunt BB. Be a 5. And US Lily 80, been here for 4 months and says, Melanie, our Queen Cupcake, thank you for covering this. The cases that I cover, I'm passionate about, and I'm passionate about the First Amendment. There's a lot of people who hate Aidan Kearney and have now turned against Aidan Kearney, maybe for whatever reason, because they just hate him. But the First Amendment is the First Amendment, and we're all entitled to First Amendment protection. And if everybody can be persecuted in Norfolk County for hurting the feelings of people that are testifying in a trial, and the person for trying to expose the corruption of the police in the county, and then the same police are investigating him for exposing the corruption of them. In what world? In what world is that okay? I don't care how much you hate him. In what world do you think that's okay? I mean, Josh says grifter's going to grift. Something about Norfolk County. Thank you. Leah says Proctor got in trouble for his private texts. Yuri is out here publicly stating his biases. How mad is Proctor? Right. Just saying. Thanks, Leah, for your 5. Cat Randall, thanks for your 5. Their fight against evil made it into a court document. Okay. At least it is now on the record. A mission from God. Let's go. Thanks, Cat. Tashai says, hey, MSP, it's time to drop this case and drop Yuri. MSP and Canton PD is also being sued. Sean McCabe threatened Aidan as Chris Albert laughs, and now this. Gross. I can't opine on that because I haven't heard it. I've heard about it, and so I cannot speak to its truth and veracity and authenticity, but I know what you're talking about. Thank you so much, Tashai, for your 5. Ashley, thanks for becoming a new member, Ashley Barr. Jenny Lulu says, I'm celebrating my year with you and your cupcakes. Thanks, Jenny. Amy in Arizona gifted 10 memberships. You're awesome, Amy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Josh with another 5. I think Melanie's legal analysis is spot on. Hell, you could have Bezos money. The attacks or jealousy. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Look at Heather says, I've had the most fun watching you. I mean, if it's not interesting to watch, then why would you watch? Like, I can't watch people talk about themselves or other YouTube creators for hours. It's just not interesting to me. And I don't think it would be interesting to you. Although many of you do watch that. So I don't know. Penny 804 became a member. Welcome. Dr. Jen Toxic. Mel, we adore you. These people are weirdos. I love you, Jen. Oh, I love you too. I love you too. Ashton Sugar says, we love our queen. You guys are the greatest. Thanks for backing me up. Glamis Susan's here. She says, merch idea, Melanie Little's Yacht Club member. I think we'll work on something. We'll work on it. We have a lot of great artists in the chat. In fact, the Block Island stuff, I gotta get the Block Island stuff out. I don't think I did that yet. Thank you, Glamis. So Strange Credulity says that Spaces was absolutely vile and repulsive. A true threat, many true threats. I wonder if it's been reported and or if that person, if they can figure out who it is, will be prosecuted for the true threats. Because true threats and fighting words are not protected by the First Amendment. The problem is a lot of people hide behind fake names and fake accounts, and they're not out here with their real names like I am, you know? Sue says, oh yeah, Cosgrove's detailed bill is in your inbox. Thank you very much, because you are the greatest. You've got everything at the ready. You've got everything at the ready. Thank you, Melissa, for your Venmo and the street sign that you sent me. And here it is. Wow. You guys are on it. When I tell you that we have the most talented chat on the interwebs, like, I'm not joking around. I'm not just saying that to like butter you guys up, because you already know it. But check out this. At the intersection of protected speech and alleged witness intimidation. Hang on. Her name is the Legalese123. Wait, what is your name? Wait, what is your name in the chat, Melissa? She made this. Okay. I said, can anybody mock up something quick at the intersection of protected speech and witness intimidation? Here you go. Courtesy of Melissa. Check this shit out. What? Are you kidding me? Like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. She's like, here you go. You want it? You want the intersection of protected speech and alleged witness intimidation? Here you go. Wow. And she sent me $10 by Venmo to tell me that it was in my inbox. That is how amazing you guys are. Do you love it? Suze, do you love it? I love you guys so much. You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable. You're just sitting there like listening to me, rage crocheting, rage cleaning, sending Venmos and making street signs. Because this is a whole episode now. This is not just, if she takes a plea, it'll be over. If not, it's going to be a whole episode. Oh my God. And here's Kate. She's already got the merch ideas. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hang on. We got the Yacht Club merch ideas, courtesy of Kate with a C. And if you haven't voted, please vote, because we're only up to like 1,491 votes. And there's like 5,000 people here. Here you go. Come on up. Oh, the browser has lost connection to the screen share audio. All right, so I'll have to start it again if it's a problem. But here it is. No Yacht Club, no yachts, just receipts. Like, are you kidding me, Kate? Is that you? See, Kate the Great. Kate the Great. Here she is. Is that you? Are you the one who did this amazing work? Look at this. No Yacht Club, no yachts, just receipt. The No Yacht Club. But no, that's not it. Melanie's Mirage Yacht Club, sailing on waves of pure fiction, scales of justice, and the cupcake. Come on. Come on. Melanie's Mirage Yacht Club, the front, and then there's a scale of justice with a microphone. I love this. And an anchor, and a sword, and a queen. Sailing on waves of pure fiction. Actual yachts not included. Imagination supplied by I don't even want her name on it, but I love the idea. We'll workshop this one a little bit. And then she's even put it on a model. No Yacht Club. We sail on evidence. Girl, you're fire. No Yacht Club. We sail on evidence. All right. You sent me an email, right? So I have your contact information. You're amazing. You're amazing. I can't with you guys. You're so amazing. And I didn't even get to the bills from I don't know. Gigi said, I guess I just lost my cupcake. Sorry for that 100%. You didn't lose your cupcake at all, Gigi. I told you I love you. Stop. Stop. Cynthia says, I've never sent a Cash App before. I only use it to receive my rents. I just love your show and watching you from the beginning, and sent $100 on Cash App. You guys are amazing. You get the best chat award. Mitchell said it. I need to send every single person in here a trophy. Every single person a trophy. And Kate the Great, I hope that your dog gets better soon. Kate the Great did this because her dog had surgery and she's forced to lay down with him to keep him laying down. So got to fill my time somehow. Well, I mean, I'll allow it. I'll allow it, Kate. And thank you, Cynthia, for your very generous Cash App. Stephanie, for $150 Venmo, says, Happy New Year, wishing you and your loved ones a happy and healthy 2026. Thank you. You're the greatest. You're all the greatest. Elaine sent me 100 to fill up the tank on the yacht. And Gigi was very generous and sent a 50 and says, enough on Annabelle. She will not F with you. What, Annabelle? Who's Annabelle, Gigi? You mean Annabelle the doll? And then Gigi sent another 50. Says, please do not trust her. I'm only trying to help. It's not about, I'm not trusting her or not trusting her. I don't trust anyone. And then another 50, please quit trusting Gattani. Thank you, Gigi. You're very, very generous. And I love you, but it's not about who I trust or don't trust. It has nothing to do with me. And I don't even know her. How could I trust her? Kyla loves when I get worked up. Thank you for your 20. And she says, thanks for doing it for those who can't. All right, Suze. Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. All right. So let's go here. Cosgrove broken down by vendor. Okay, here we go. Here's Cosgrove's bills. And this is the checkbook of the Norfolk County DA's office. 2024, Cosgrove was paid $27,889. Glamasous always has receipts. $89,143 in 2025. And just some more receipts on that because we like receipts. $33,728 to date in 2026. So yeah, he billed quite a bit. Look at that. He was paid on December 17th, $21,928.44. I forget what his hourly rate was. Do you remember his hourly rate? But it was cheap. September 25th, 2025, he was paid $11,799. So, he's billing. Lamassu says he's limited to half his pension and he comes darn close. That's why Howie Carr calls him Triple Dip Cosgrove. He's got like two pensions and now he's also dipping into the coffers of Norfolk County DA's office. Thank you, Suze, for that. Thank you, Suze, for the bills. Honey and Salt wants to be the head stewardess on the yacht. I'll allow it. Gigi says, I hate no one. I just know what truly makes sense. Hate me if you want to. I'm telling you I love you. I'm telling you I love you. I don't know how many more ways I could say it. I love you, Gigi. I love you. I love you. Gigi's got your back. Mary says, as far as integrity goes, I choose Melanie. Thank you, Mary. Tortoise Interference says, maybe you can't make it up, but Nan can. Thank you. Cupcakes for Justice says, merch. I was on Melanie's yacht in Cancun. Nate Taylor says, no time for yachting, only cupcakes. Well done. Yellow Lead Bederow. Hey, Cam. With all Nan's showery begging for begging to be cool super chats, she could have had her own yacht. I mean, say it like it is. Charlie says, a classic case of F around and find out. And Charlie 1224 can see it all the way from Australia. Thank you for tuning in from down under. Jazzy Girl says, we be pirate cupcakes. Arr, thank you. Jenny Lyon says yachts and matchas with Melanie Little. I'll allow it. Dina, Mama King, says, sends $10 and says the 23rd, let's all show support and show up at the courthouse for Aidan, Turtleboy. Turtleboy, Aidan. I will be in Cancun with my boy, Dave Matthews, but I'm going to try to cover it. I'm going to have to bring a hotspot or something so that I have the internet with me, because the internet in Mexico is spotty at best, especially at a resort. But for anybody who would like to show up for Aidan, his next court date is the 23rd of January. That is a Friday. And it apparently is supposed, I have it in my calendar as noon, but subject to change, obviously. It is the same day Stefan Diggs is going to be arraigned in Dedham District Court. Same day. Turtleboy and Stefan Diggs. I mean, crazy, right? Thanks, Dina. Robert, Melanie just sent you the Block Island Ferry theme song. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Thank you, Robert, for your 20. I can't play music on here, though, because YouTube could strike me. And so I just can't. I don't know where it is. Oh, this plays all summer long here in Rhode Island. Oh, it's an ad. Sail away on the Block Island Ferry. Oh, I love it. But because it's music, I don't think I can play it, but let me just listen to it. I believe that my screen share audio is not working anyway. So let me know if you could hear this. You probably can't, because I have to refresh my browser. I just didn't stop to do it yet, but hang on. You probably won't be able to hear it. So let me know if you can hear it. I'll have to stop it because it's, copyright and all. But I recently saw this commercial actually in the middle of the night, like watching Shark Tank or something. Oh, wait. Well, it would help if I shared the screen with you. Hold on. Can you hear it? How great is that? It's like sail away to Block Island Ferry. And there is a place called Block Island. It's real. A lot of people thought I made it up. It is real. It is an island off the coast of Rhode Island and Long Island. You could take a ferry there, also from Massachusetts. Okay, you can't hear it, so it doesn't matter. So let's just watch it. Leave your troubles behind. Come sail away with us to the beauty of Block Island. Look at all those yachts. Somebody said hi to Will. Will, we have merch now. We have Melanie's Yacht Club merch. That just an amazing viewer, just in her spare time, sitting here, made it up. Look at the yachts. So you can go from Point Judith and Newport, Rhode Island. You could take a ferry, high speed. And really, it is beautiful. This is it's like Stephen King. Like when you just look at that hotel, it looks like the Stanley Hotel in Colorado where he wrote The Shining. This is it's haunted. It's like a throwback in time. It's like there's barely any TV or newspapers in Block Island. It is so beautiful and unhurried and very just scenic. I love it. Everybody wears a visor. Everybody wears a visor. Most of the ferries you cannot bring a car on. You just have to go. You can barely even bring your boat. And also there's a really cool bar. What's the name of the bar that overlooks the ocean? And they always have a really good band playing. Tell me the name of that bar. Look at the beautiful lighthouses, beautiful beaches, gorgeous. Yes, you all park your yachts right near mine. It's only 30 minutes from Point Judith, you guys. You got to go there. If you've never been there, you should go. Even just go for a day trip. It's beautiful. Yes, it's Ballards. Thank you. It is Ballards. And if you go there, you must visit Ballards. Thank you, guys. I mean, there you go. BlockIslandFerry.com. Get on over. Get on over there. Really, it is a beautiful place. And thank you, Robert, for your 20 and for sending me the theme song. What's better than that? I'm going to refresh my browser right now because I want to show you some video on Sour Grace Patrick and I want you to hear it. And since StreamYard has lost my connection, I need to refresh my browser. So don't go away. I'm going to be right back. I promise you. And you're all like, don't threaten me. All right, I'll be right back. Hang on. And now you're back from outer space. All right, here I am. I'm back. I'm back from outer space. Swipers keep swiping. I know. I always come back. I would never leave you. I would never, ever leave you. Somebody said to me the other day, Melanie, that's exactly what I needed to hear. I needed the little child in me needed you to hear me, needed you to say, I will never leave you. Okay. Thank you, Robert, for that. And tons of fun. 911 says, love being a cupcake in the snark tank. Thank you. Too Cute by Half is here and says, thanks for your Sunday love. We loved you the mostest. We love you the mostest. Hugs your Cupcake Yacht Club. Thank you. My Cupcake Yacht Club. So many bars are better than Ballards. Good. Tell us what they are. What, if anything? I just remember that. Okay, listen, to be honest with you, to be frank, I haven't been to Block Island in probably 20 years. So 20 years ago, Block Island, Ballards was like the place to go. If there's better places now, please tell me. But I just remember that you sat at the bar outside overlooking the ocean and there was always a cool band playing. So send it on out, put it in the chat. Proctoria Misconduct, Gypsy Rose as Kerry, Lindsay Lohan as Jennifer McCabe. Well done. Chrissy Mel says, am I alone in thinking that Llama is a Jen McCabe clone? Is it in the water? I don't know. Thanks for your 10, Chrissy Mel. Josh says, I'm just going to say this feed was more entertaining than Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. I'm watching both. Only one has my attention. Yes. Yes. I thought maybe it was my vintage jersey, my vintage Corey Dillon jersey, number 28. Super Bowl, what? 39? I don't know. Aidan is in Suffolk Superior Court. Oh, thank you, Steph. Oh, so it's in Boston. It's in like downtown Boston. Lieutenant Pez Dispenser, you're not in timeout for no reason. Sometimes things happen and people get mistakenly put in timeout because the chat is running fast. Don't hold it against anybody. Denise, write down all the donors. Timeline Queen. Thank you, Deshai. Karma is a patient gangster. Thanks for your 5. And only because you probably wanted me to read out your username and how clever it is. Karma is a patient gangster. Thank you for your 5. And CLMK, thanks for being here for 11 months. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Sleepless Sleuth, for being here. Rhonda became a member. Thank you, Ms. Nancy. NS Nancy. I love spending full moons with you. Oh, is tonight the full moon? It's the first super moon of the year. Wow, we can't go anywhere. We got to stay right here. Full moon energy everywhere. Christy, a painter's daughter, says, I'm not going anywhere. Happy New Year. You've been here for 20 months. Where would you go? Where would you go? If you get me, you get me. If you don't, it's okay. It's okay. There's plenty of other people to watch on YouTube. Jomar says, a super Sunday with Mel. Love your outrage always. Thanks for being here for 5 months. Virtual juror says, I sent you street signs. I got them. Oh, so you're virtual juror. Street same as Kate the Great? Or did you send different ones? Jen says, I love being here. Free Turtleboy. Lindsay says, Carrie and Carrie's excuse for the movie text is as believable as the white light showing through Karen Reed's broken taillight at trial. Yeah. People think it was clearly altered. Thanks, Lindsay, for your 5. And West Virginia says, at this point, I am only a member of your channel. You bring those seats to what you say. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, my love. Thank you for your 5. And Jean Diamond sent $20 super sticker. Thank you, my love. And Kelly, Chloe Bitt, Got no credit. Says check your email again. What am I looking for? And Leah says I sent you an email. And Pokey says, chat says yacht name equals Snark Tank. That's good. Snark Tank is a good name. I want to tell you guys about Sarah Grace Patrick, okay? Because many of you don't know about it. And the trial's starting tomorrow. And so I want you to know about it. Okay, Leah sent another one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I'm going to allow it. Hang on. We're going to have to take, I'm going to have to put all these up. We're going to have to take a poll. Please, if you have not voted in the bias poll for Kelsey Fitzsimmons, please vote on it now. So Leah, I think, sent this one. And it says, this is because you guys are the greatest. Here you go. Melanie Little's Yacht Club. It says, oops, allegedly afloat. And then it says Yacht Club and it's got some cupcakes and it says sprinkles and subpoenas. I mean, come on. Come on. Isn't that awesome? You guys are amazing. So that was from, I think that was from Leah, right, Leah? Is that yours? I mean, you guys are really doing me like righteous in your caricatures of me. They're like way better than I really look. And I love you so much. And that, thank you, Leah, for that one. And Kelly sent these because you guys like now it's a competition. Now it's a competition. All right. So these are from Kelly, Chloe Bit. So you must have quit used to be the name, but now I think it's something else. All right. This one says Cupcake Yacht Club, Attorney Melanie Little. That is nice. And it's got cupcakes and sprinkles and lighthouses and starfish and look, a life preserver. I love it. I mean, a life, what do you call that thing? The ring. And then this one says Cupcake Yacht Club because you guys are awesome. And if you want the merch, if you think I won't put these up in Spreadshop, you're wrong because I will. I'll do it. I will put them right up there like you don't even know. Jackie says she's a proud member of the Cupcake Yacht Club. Thanks, Jack. The yacht is named Snark Tank. Analytical Blarney says, but really, when do we yacht it up? We do. We do it. You guys are awesome. All right. Oops. Okay. Now I want to tell you, for those of you who don't know about Sarah Grace Patrick, can we please talk about Sarah Grace Patrick? Because she needs our help. She needs your help. Jimmy will give extra credit in class tomorrow for what? Some people have been paying attention to Jimmy's class. This is amazing. We love this so much. A life preserver. That's what it was. She's a real yachty. We want the merch. Oh, we want the merch. This is what they do when they troll me. Yes, it's because of you know who. Will said that Melanie's a rich bitch with a yacht. And then she said they all hated Melanie or something like that. I don't even know. I don't care anymore. I already lost interest. Let's talk about Sarah Grace Patrick, okay? Can we do that? I'm not taking my yacht to Cancun, Nurse Jones, because it wouldn't go that far. Wouldn't go that far. Little Cupcake is worried about Sarah Grace Patrick. Let me talk to you about Sarah Grace Patrick, okay? Will is the deckhand. Do you remember when somebody paid him a lot of money to take his shirt off on a New Year's Eve stream? That was a fundraiser for Karen Reed. That was good times. Good times. I mean, all right. Please let me tell you about Sarah Grace Patrick if you don't know, because many of you don't know. Sarah Grace Patrick was 16 years old. All right, we're only up to 1,976 votes on the Fitzsimmons. Whether or not you think Judge Kathleen McCarthy Nyman is seems biased against Kelsey. So please, if you can, please vote. We're up to 1,983 votes. I would like to get 2,000 plus. Okay. Sarah Grace Patrick was 16 years old when her mother and stepfather, Kristen Brock, age 41, and James Brock, age 45, were assassinated in their bed in their Carrollton County home. I've done a couple of streams on this case already, very recently. You can go back and watch them, please. We found the Zillow layout of the house. We looked at pictures of the house because it's now for sale for $389,000. You can own a murder house. Kristen and James Brock were assassinated in their bed, either late at night on February 19th, 2025, or in the early morning hours of February 20th, 2025. Sarah Grace Patrick was 16 years old. Her half sister was 5 years old. In the morning of February 20th, the 5-year-old got up, went into her parents' bedroom. Those are both her bio parents, and they were assassinated by multiple gunshot wounds in their bed. Sarah Grace, as a 16-year-old, as 16-year-olds do, went with her feelings to TikTok. And cried on TikTok and reached out to some TikTok content creators and asked them to cover the story of her parents' murder because they were not getting any information on who might have killed her parents. And so it is because of that the media wants you to think that Sarah Grace Patrick is guilty of the murder of her parents. She gave a eulogy for her mother and her stepfather. And the eulogy, in my opinion, was heartfelt. It was genuine. And a lot of people have bashed her for being fake and showing fake tears. And they say they have a mountain of evidence against her because they did finally arrest her. They finally arrested her in July of 2025. There was a bail hearing. That was wild. We watched it already. The bail hearing was like a sentencing. The witness it was like they were giving victim impact statements, the people that testified at the bond hearing. It was insane. They said that they were afraid of her. She was a flight risk. They were afraid of her and that she would be intimidating witnesses if she was out on bail without any evidence. They cried about how much they missed their parents, and they cried about a lot of things that had nothing to do with whether or not Sarah Grace Patrick was a danger to the community, whether or not she would flee. She doesn't have a driver's license, okay? She doesn't even drive, and she doesn't have a car. And whether she was intimidating witnesses, I have no idea. It was wild. We have not seen anything about it. This PR person for the Sheriff's Department of Carrollton County, Georgia, came out and said they have a mountain of evidence against her. Well, you know what's so interesting is that we heard so much about the mountain of evidence against Brian Walsh. I mean, right? It was crazy before the trial. We heard about Brian Walsh's Google searches. We heard about Brian Walsh's location data. We heard about the surveillance video of him dumping things in dumpsters. We heard about a piece of bone on a hacksaw that turned out to not even be true. We learned all of this before Brian Walsh's trial. We have not heard one sliver of evidence against Sarah Grace Patrick. But listen to what Julie Grant said about her. Listen to what Julie Grant said about her on Court TV. Hold on. And this is on their Instagram. Hopefully the audio is going to work right now.
Just belong in jail. Before their trial, before a final disposition, some people are way too dangerous to be walking among us. And sometimes those dangerous monsters don't look like monsters. Like in the case of Sarah Grace Patrick, the 17-year-old Georgia teen who's accused of murdering her parents and then turning to TikTok for sympathy.
For sympathy? Maybe she wanted help. Maybe she wanted help because nobody was solving the goddamn murder case. And maybe she wanted help because her father went to law enforcement and told them that his 12-year-old son was a witness to a friend of the couple pulling a gun on them on Valentine's Day. They were murdered on the 19th or the 20th. Valentine's Day was February 14th. His son was a witness to this gun pulling, and his son was there, and his son was told to go outside and play. And then it has also come out that Sarah Grace thought, and her father said this on TV, we watched the interview the other day, that it was a drug deal gone bad because her mother was dealing drugs. Okay? But Julie Grant, August 8th of 2025, is calling her a monster. Based on what evidence? Based on what evidence? This is what the media wants you to believe.
This little alleged monster is seeking bond ahead of her upcoming trial. The court should deny that request and keep her locked up. For multiple reasons, I say this, my friends. Number one, she's arguably a danger to society. She has a younger sister as well who discovered her parents were murdered. And that poor child doesn't need to be traumatized any further or have her safety put in jeopardy.
I'm sorry. Is there such a thing as innocent until proven guilty on court TV ever? Ever? Boy, does she hate Karen Reed. She hated Karen Reed too. And this is outrageous. This girl is 17 now. She's being held in solitary confinement because they did not let her out on bail. She's being held in solitary because she's a child and they can't put her in Gen Pop. And she's been there since her arrest in July. Her trial's supposed to start tomorrow. We're covering it live at 9 a.m. because the cameras are going to be here. Nobody knows about this case and nobody has heard one shred of evidence against this girl. Not one.
Number two, she needs to be forced by the court to comply with any recommended mental health treatment. I guarantee you that the court already ordered her to undergo a mental health evaluation. And if she's in custody, she'll be forced to comply with any recommended treatment. And if these facts alleged are true, this girl is in much need of treatment.
If they're true.
And number three, the charges against her are as serious as they come. Police believe she shot her mom, Kristen Brock, and her stepfather, James Brock, to death while they were sleeping.
She's never shot a gun in her life. They didn't own a gun. They didn't find a murder weapon. And there's no forensic evidence that we know of tying her to this crime, which looks like an assassination. And based on what I know and the deep dive that I've done, and I've read the entire court file, this girl is factually innocent. Will Julie Grant eat her words when it comes out that this could have been a drug deal gone bad? Or that the person who pulled the gun on them 5 days before could be responsible for it? Did they even investigate anybody else? Did they even investigate any potential third-party culprits? Or did they just want to pin it on the girl? Because they needed to close this case. They needed a conviction. And they needed the Carrollton, Georgia. They needed Carrollton, Georgia to feel safe. This is repulsive. She shot a rifle, I think, yes. But I think it was a 9mm, I think, that was involved in these crimes. They haven't found a murder weapon. And the grandfather who believes she's innocent and the father who believes she's innocent say that she's never shot anything other than a rifle. I think that was the only thing she's ever shot. So let's listen to the rest of this. Oops.
In their bed. Now, the allegation here against this child is two premeditated murders made even worse.
Well, that's interesting because Julie Grant called her a child. However, they're trying her as an adult in Georgia. They're trying her as an adult, but Julie Grant thinks she's a child.
Worse then, by what happened allegedly after the fact. Allegations of her trying to socially engineer the court of public opinion on TikTok.
She's a genius.
So for all these reasons, I say keep her in, keep her watched, and keep her away from her little sister. Some people just belong in jail. Before their trial.
This is posted August 8th of 2025. I've posted on my Instagram story if you follow me over there. If you'd like, go on over to Court TV's Instagram and tell them what you think. Tell them what you think. Because I'm going to tell you again, if you weren't here with me the other day, I'm going to show you part of the interview with Sarah Grace Patrick's father. Because the guy on Law and Crime, this guy gets all the interviews. And it's right here. Hang on. Let me get to the right spot. All right, I'm going to end this poll in a minute. So if you guys can please vote. If you think, regarding Kelsey Fitzsimmons, if you've been following the case, if you think Judge Kathleen McCarthy-Nyman seems biased against Kelsey right now, we have 2,162 votes. 90% of you say yes, 2% say no, and 9% say not sure. So get your final votes in now, if you don't mind, and I think I can gift some memberships. So let me see. I can gift some memberships. YouTube gives me 10 a month. And so I'm going to send 5 out right now. YouTube picks it. It's not me. 5 gifted memberships. Stick with me and watch the rest of this. Watch me show you the interview of Sarah Grace Patrick's father. Congratulations to Sheila P76, Comer K. Appeals are made for walk-in. Stepha Honey and Ariel 005, the winners. Winner, chicken dinner. Right. I want you to see the interview with Sarah Grace's dad. This was right after her arrest. Oh, please. And then come with me. After I end the stream, it's going to teleport you over to the morning stream for the trial. And they're going to start jury selection tomorrow, supposedly. So we will just be on there for however long they let us on there for. It won't be a long day because I don't know how long it's going to take to pick a jury. But I want you to hear this. Okay, so this is at 20 minutes in. Okay, hang on. This is an interview by Chris Stewart. Chris Stewart on Long Crime gets all the good interviews. I don't know if he's on the actual channel or if they just publish them on YouTube. I'm not really sure how it works, but props and shout out to him for getting all the good interviews. This was with Sarah Grace Patrick's dad. His name is Danielle Patrick. And listen to what Sarah Grace's dad, her biological dad, has to say.
It was a part of their life at that point since he's had that. So I don't know much about Elvad and the heart problems that he had, but I do know that about the machine. Like I said, we were eating,
so outrageous,
and it went off.
What theories when you were, I don't know how often you would talk about that night with your daughter, but I guess when you would get to that point where you'd speculate about what may have happened, what does Sarah think happened that night?
I don't like to talk bad about them and their deaths and stuff like that because I know that families are hurting and stuff like that, but Sarah knows more than most people knows. And the only thing that she could think of was there was drug deals go wrong.
Yep, drug deals go wrong.
They ripped somebody off a couple months before that.
They ripped somebody off a couple months before that. The couple ripped somebody off in a drug deal a couple months before that. Nobody will assassinate you like a pissed off drug dealer. Okay? Sarah Grace Patrick is the one sitting in prison. Julie Grant thinks she's a monster. There's not one shred of forensic evidence tying her to that crime that we know of. I can't wait to see what they think. Maybe her Google searches and her searching up on TikTok and her communications on TikTok with TikTokers trying to get them to cover the story, try and get justice for her murdered mother and stepfather. Wow. Where's the evidence? Show me one piece of evidence. And by the way, if they used Celebrite to extract her Google searches, we can also let them know that Celebrite timestamps are not accurate for Google searches. Okay? Thank you, Coastal Rob. Listen to this.
That it could be that person. And I'm not, when I say drugs, I'm not talking about like, the hardcore drugs or anything like that. From what I understand, it was over weed or something like that, but a substantial amount. And that's what and she was telling the investigators that the whole time. And when we talked to the investigators, they said that they had already, talked to them and said that they counted them out. So, there was a incident that
they counted them out. Is anybody from Carroll County, Georgia? Is there corruption in Carroll County, Georgia? What about the lead investigator? I can't wait to hear more. Can't wait to hear more about this lead investigator. But the dealers said they didn't do it. Are they going to rely on Google searches that say what? How to murder someone? I don't know. We don't know because we haven't seen a damn bit of evidence. Not even at the bond hearing was there a damn bit of evidence shown. Not a thing.
Happened right before Valentine's, my son told
Here's the incident that happened right before Valentine's Day. Listen up. Valentine's Day, for those of you who don't know, is February 14th.
right before Valentine's, my son told me about, because when the detective came to my mom's house where I was staying, he started asking about certain people, and there was a friend of theirs that actually pulled a gun on them
What?
right before Valentine's Day, and my son witnessed it.
Oh, yeah, he did.
You know, I can't say his name or anything like that, but you know, that's
His son witnessed friends of Kristen and James Brock pulling a gun on them around February 14th. I don't know. Did they investigate any other potential suspects?
my son, and he's not just gonna make stuff up like that. You know, my son was with me at the time of everything. He was actually on winter break, so I had my son and for that entire week. But when it all happened, my son, you know, he brought that up to us, that the family friend that had pulled a gun on James in the kitchen, and they asked him to leave and make him go walk the dogs.
Since you've talked with Sarah,
Right?
since she's been in jail, what is she
They told him to leave and go walk the dogs. Somebody pulled a gun on them. Listen to this, because now we're going to get to, remember we looked at the Zillow listing of the house? Hold on. And I said that it looks like there's 3 doors to get into that house. Apparently nobody locks their doors there, so there might not have been a sign of forced entry, but we didn't get this far in the interview the other day when we covered this. So listen to this.
did she know how to handle a gun?
Not that I know
This
of.
is Sarah Grace Patrick starting tomorrow.
I know that she had shot a gun a few times, but not very often. I know that, judging by what I seen, it would take somebody to be trained at shooting a gun to do what was done to them. You know, and that's about all I can really say about that.
I know that the initially investigators had said there was no sign of forced entry on the house.
I have pictures of the door.
You want to see the
Do you believe
pictures?
that
Here they
there was
go.
forced entry in the home?
Yes, sir, I do. I have pictures of the door. There's clearly like an indentation and almost like a crowbar mark or something like that. I know it didn't break the entire door down, but it's like my daughter said, they slept with the doors unlocked.
Yep.
You know, so I feel like whoever went in there, they knew what they were doing.
There it is. There's a picture of the door. It's right here. Come back to your screen if you can. No, this was the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. Let me just zoom in on it so you can see it. There's like a lockbox on it, but do you see right here? I mean, I don't know. I'm no investigator, but that's what they're supposed to do. Here's the pictures. Father got out there and spoke because this was right after her arrest, and everyone out there, like Julie Grant, is screaming about how guilty this girl is. I could understand him wanting to talk and do an interview, but let's keep listening.
Because as you go through that back door, you're instantly in their room, basically. You turn left and you're in their room. And
Once you go in that door, you were basically in the room where the parents were sleeping. That's how easy it was to get into that house that was usually left unlocked. Right in that door, and the bedroom is right there. Right there.
I feel like the mark on the door was because, say, if they did have the door locked, they were moving quickly. They wanted to get in as fast as possible, even if the door was unlocked or not. Obviously, they wasn't trying to make noise. They were trying to get in there and take care of what they were trying to take care of.
I can tell you exactly, allegedly,
Somebody
maybe the address.
assassinated
Hold
them,
on.
and it was not my daughter.
And just before we go, is there anything that I missed?
And look at
or
Sarah
anything
Grace,
you want?
beautiful 17-year-old girl. This is apparently what she posted on TikTok. She's not dressed like a slut. This is age appropriate for 17-year-olds on TikTok. I will tell you that as the mother of teenage daughters, there is nothing inappropriate about this video of her that they want you to make you think that she is some kind of crazy murderer.
Want to make sure, and I know I asked you this once before, but just as you know, I want to make sure you have your opportunity to make sure people know about your daughter, and then also just as they've taken in to at least what we know from the sheriff's office, this mountain of evidence, and we don't know what's in the mountain of
evidence. They said it's wild.
They haven't said, but what is there anything I missed that you would want to make sure people know?
No, sir, there's not much you missed. I really don't have much more that I can really talk about. I've seen some of the evidence, but I'm going to leave that to the lawyers in the courts. And like I said, the evidence that I have seen does not add up. And I've talked to the investigators quite a few times, and they even slip up on their own words about the evidence, which, like I said, makes me not believe in their own integrity. You know, the integrity of the entire investigation. You know, if you're sitting here working on this story or this scene for so many months, you should have your words together. You know, and that's how I feel.
Daniel, Patrick, thank you for taking the time to be with us. I know this isn't easy. We really appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking your time to talk to me.
Well, at least he gets it right. He says she's only facing accusations that she shot and killed them, but he's not convicting her. He's law and crime. It's not court TV. The house is for sale. Somebody said they live in the area. This is there's 92 photos of it on Zillow if you want to look it up. It is 1531 Tyus Carrollton Road in Carrollton, Georgia. It's listing at $379. $999. The property taxes, we looked at them the other day, are something like $2,750 a year, which is very, very cheap. They're like 10 times that here in the Northeast. And I feel so sad for her father as well. Listen, this girl may very well be factually innocent. And I know that many mainstream media have forgotten that that is actually a concept of innocent until proven guilty, but I have not seen one shred of evidence. Sarah Grace Patrick is being represented by a public defender. She's a queen. Her name is Latoya Williams. She's amazing. And the judge, his name is Dusty Hightower. And he looks like Jake Ryan from the old John Hughes movie, 16 Candles. Tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, here's some photos of the house. We looked at them the other day. Please go back and watch that stream. But there's at least 3 entrances to this house. There's the main one shown here in this photograph. There's, I think, a back door and a side door at least. It's 1,800 square feet. I think it's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. And they did a lot of renovations before putting it on the market. Here's a door right here on the side of this photograph, as you can see. And I'm not sure if that's the door that leads right to near where the parents were sleeping, but the trial starts tomorrow. We're going to be covering it right here at 8:45 a.m. And come, be here. There's at least 3 entrances to this house. I can't wait to see what kind of evidence they have against her. This mountain of evidence. Can't wait. Yes. So when I hit end on this stream, it's going to take you to the morning stream so you can hit the reminder for yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Never Zen Jen, for becoming a member. And I gifted 5 memberships. Thank you to me. Jury selection is tomorrow, but we're going to cover it in the morning because the cameras are going to be there and we will get to hear the judge address the panel. And if there's any arguments on motions, we will get to hear that. I'm not sure how long the trial is supposed to last. Could be a couple of weeks. And Kat Randall, thank you for gifting a membership. So come on in. Expert Architect is here and says that door was clearly jimmied with a flat bar. You can bend the frame just enough to push a locked door open in seconds and then lock it behind you. Well, yeah, the photos are there, but apparently everyone's already crucified this girl because she went to TikTok to ask for help. And so they think that it shows consciousness of guilt because obviously she must be consciousness of guilt, right? There must be consciousness of guilt. All right, I'm going to end the poll. If everyone got their votes in. 2,411 votes on Fitzsimmons. And I'm going to end it now. And here's the results. 89% say not. Yeah, 89. Okay, here's the question regarding Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Do you think Judge Kathleen McCarthy-Nyman seems biased against Kelsey Fitzsimmons? 89% of you said yes. 9% said not sure. 2% said no. And 2,400 of you voted. So thank you so very much for that, because you're amazing. And did anybody out there besides me? Am I the only one here that saw Marty Supreme? Yeah, they think that it's asking for help makes her seem guilty because it's conscious of the guilt. She just wanted to become internet famous. So she gunned down her parents, her mother and her stepfather. And then she went to TikTok because she just wanted to be internet famous. Right? Anybody see Marty Supreme? Am I the only one who feels like I wasted 2.5 hours of my life that I'm never getting back? Tomorrow, we're going to have to talk about the Critics' Choice Awards, which I didn't get to. Marty Supreme is a movie. Timothy Chalamet. Now I taped it, so now I got to go back and watch the Critics' Choice Awards, so no spoilers. It's a new concept, innocent until proven guilty. It's a new concept, but I know how fierce you guys are about justice, and I know how important innocent until proven guilty is to you, and I know that you've learned to evaluate the evidence and base your feelings on the evidence, and we have not seen any evidence. And now we know that there was drug dealing going on in that house and that somebody else pulled a gun on that couple. And I'm sorry, it's not, disparaging the victims if it's true. And there's plenty of criminal records. There were family violence orders. I've got them all. I've got the receipts on it. Ain't no joke. Emily C said she waited months to go to TikTok after they couldn't find the real killers. Right. True. Yeah, you watched it. Kelly Hall said, I watched it Christmas Day. It was beat, longest movie ever. It made no sense. What about all the plot holes? Things that were never tied back together. Marty Supreme. It's a movie about ping pong in the 1950s in New York. It was wild. Who's waiting for me to get done? Should I keep talking? What do you mean? Come back tomorrow because you're not going to want to miss it. All right. It's 11 p.m. here on the East Coast. We've been here for 4 hours. Thank you to the moderators for doing the Lord's work and keeping it as classy as it could have been tonight based on all the shenanigans happening out there in the tubes of you. And I appreciate you and I love you so much. And I love each and every one of you. Each and every one of you who chooses to spend so much of your time with me. You have no idea. I love you with all my heart. If I don't see you soon, I'm going to die. But I am going to see you tomorrow morning, super early, at 8:45 in the morning. Thank you, Samantha, for the 10. Says I'm behind in the stream. Thank you so much. She says, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how I do it either. But that's it is what it is. I don't know. All right. I love you guys. I will see you in the morning. When I hit end on this, it will send you over to the morning stream. So please hit the reminder for the morning. We'll be here at 8:45. I think Law and Crime is going to be live streaming because I saw all the media orders in the court file. And so we're going to be there. Okay. Love you guys. See you in the morning. Peace. Do all the things that YouTube likes if you don't mind. Love you. Bye.